Is there anybody out there? Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can hear me. Is there anyone at home? Come on now. I hear you're feeling down. Well, I can ease your pain and get you on your feet again. Relax. I need some information first. Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain, you are receding. A distant ship smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. When I was a child, I had a fever, and my hands felt just like two balloons. Now I've got that feeling once again. I can't explain, you would not understand. This is not how I am. I have become comfortably numb. I have become comfortably numb. Okay, just a little pinprick. There'll be no more but you may feel a little sick. Can you stand up? I do believe it's working. Good. That'll keep you going through the show. Come on, it's time to go. There is no pain, you are receding. A distant ship smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. When I was a child, I caught a fleeting glimpse out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look, but it was gone. I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is grown, the dream is gone, and I have become comfortably numb. And I don't know if I'm actually comfortable when I'm numb, but it's Saturday, so what the hell. And hello to you, Gulf City Stone Monkey. Hello, Cloak and Dagger. And yeah, that's I just want to see whether or not I'll end up getting a copyright claim on that. Who knows? But once again, it's the mighty Pink Floyd. You gotta love them. Bless their hats. And I don't know if she's out there in the ether anywhere. But I'm going to throw a link to Kadun. I'm honestly hoping that everybody's in the middle of a buzz or finishing up some bar time. Got a little liquid cool going on. And hoping that everybody's enjoying a smooth, mellow texture, because we're going to go into fall soon. You know what fall means? Fall means beautiful, deciduous trees, changing leafy colors, falling to the ground, and you have to rake all those fuckers up. Fall is where the air smells cleaner than it does through any other time during the year, where the weather drops just enough so you can have a jacket, and you can fill that jacket with many different things to take along your journey. Fall is football weather. And of course, we love our Halloween as well. Matter of fact, I said after my first abysmal marriage that I would never get married again unless it was a costume party. And so I'm getting ready to celebrate in what? 3 weeks? No, 4 weeks. Celebrating in 4 weeks my 10th anniversary with my lovely wife, Nurse Wicked. Some of you may know her. Oh. Well, you know, Cloak, here's the thing about music is that, you know, even if you go as far back as the Bible, you know, they say make a joyful noise. They don't say, you know, make a joyful tune or make a joyful harmony. Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing, you know, to have your handy dandy camcorder. You never know what you're going to catch. I had a friend who was when we were in high school, he used to carry around a VHS camera with him all the goddamn time because he thought, well, maybe he might be able to record something. Little did he know that, you know, technology would advance so far to where you could be a film auteur with your damn phone. Wonder what he's up to now. Wonder if he's still alive. I don't know. It's been, let's see. They're getting ready to come up on my 35th high school anniversary. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I don't have really too much to say tonight. I just wanted to ramble a little bit. And no, I haven't gotten anything back from Kadant. So she must be enjoying her Ren fairing, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, Hep C's not one of the good ones to catch. The only problems I ever had was crabs. Although there were some ladies that I was with later on in life that I legitimately, because I had great insurance back then. that I got regularly tested every 6 months for everything under the sun. And after about 5 years of that, now keep in mind that I'm still a fan of condoms. Um, always have been, always will be, because I don't need any little b-bays running around without my prior knowledge or consent. I still don't know if that's true or not because I've moved around a lot in the U.S. I don't know. I don't have any kids of my own, so I don't know. It might be nice to know that my genetic material is carrying on someplace on the eastern seaboard or deep in the Midwest somewhere. Highly doubt it, but you never know. And I'm not going to, leave any samples for, make some deposits at the sperm bank, hoping that somebody will be like, "Hey, I'm looking for sperm from a guy who, I don't know, may have done a YouTube talk show, can kind of sing, used to have the ability to draw, and he's a conversationalist. Do you have anything like that in storage?" I'm pretty sure that won't come up. So, no deposit, no return. Everyday man, good morning to you. And we have a small but cordial audience this evening. I'm just wound up because I can't wait for everything to just fall into line. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be glorious and beautiful all at once. And I, for one, cannot wait for it to happen. I guess I can do a little promotion, a little shilling here real quick. I host this little show on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, called Doctor on Call, the cure for the common interview. And that is actually what I'll be doing coming up in a few days. And this week's guest is going to be B-movie director par excellence, Jim Wynorski. And you may know him as the writer, director, producer of Chopping Mall. He's also done several others. The brother has done in his 25-year career, I think it's 25. It might be, it's 25. In his 25-year career, he's done 170 films, both for movies and television. He also did Return of the Swamp Thing. Always liked that one. Always liked it better than the Wes Craven version because Wes Craven was trying to make something horror out of it, and Wynorski was like, "Yeah, this is what we got. Okay, we'll roll with it that way." Then the week after is going to be Gulf City Ghastly himself, Justin Smith. We're going to sit back and talk about stuff. We previously had him on the Rolling with Sisyphus show, and I can say things have definitively changed for him right now. We'll talk a little bit about that, but not a lot of bit about the drama. On the 23rd, we'll have Killing Joke joining us. And this was going to be an interesting interview too, because, this isn't a performance piece. This is kind of a getting to know you. Just want to sit back, relax, and maybe have some of the conversations that he and I have behind the scenes. Just two old grizzled fucks talking about life, the universe, and everything. And then, of course, for our Halloween show, we have none other than the creator of the Friday the 13th franchise, Sean Cunningham. We'll be talking to him definitely about how he does what he does and He has a career that spans over 40 years as well. So that ought to be an interesting one. And we got a couple things lined up for November, but I'll just leave those away for right now because I've only got half of them booked. That's the truth. And a very good morning to you, Chorgon. A good morning to Sir Adamantine as well. Keemstar, I don't know what I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I talked to Keemstar about because he's in the business of drama. That's like me trying to get Harvey Levin on and not talk about TMZ. There's no way that he could actually do it. Oh, and by the way, Chorgon, have a wrench. Enjoy the lovely blueness. But yeah, I got to listening to Gadfly. He was on tonight at a very bizarre time, very late night. It's kind of an improvisation on his part, and talking kind of about ghosts and demons and possessions and supernatural stuff. And I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about it, chat? Because I mean, certainly, there are things that are beyond the scope of our imagination, but where does, for lack of a better term, hysterical blindness start and actual supernatural things end? I mean, they theoretically, you know, there has been mass hysteria before. People wanting and wishing and believing hard enough into something that it does manifest and becomes real. But does it manifest in the mind or does it manifest on the physical plane? Now, you think so, Addie? Well, I would certainly invite John if you'd like to jump. Because I've had some crazy shit happen in my life, which leads me to believe that I don't have that kind of vision to be able to absorb everything, but sometimes things peek through the cracks, if that makes sense. And there we go. And links away. And of course, since I'm still on shitty computer, if I'm sending you out a link, it's always going to come through the Twitters. Well, I am certainly hoping that you're feeling better. Hey, Wildfox, how you doing? Chorgon, I don't think I've ever heard you on a show before, but I would be more than happy to throw you out a link if you would like to join the chat. Well, I should say join the stream, right? I'm a boomer. I can be forgiven. And besides, I don't have to be up for shit tomorrow because my boys don't play until Monday night. I'm surprised I haven't seen. I'm surprised I have not seen Tennessee Marine running around talking about the UFC thing tonight. I didn't watch it. But I will guess that one guy won and another guy lost. And that's about as far as I'm willing to take it because I didn't put any money on it. So Why do I, personally, need to give a shit? Well, I don't. Ha! Like I said, the only fights that I like watching is like when I'm in the bar and watching two drunks go at it, because you know that is the thrill of competition. Plus, it's kind of fun watching somebody knock themselves out too. I kind of enjoy that. I have to say it. There's a sadistic bone in my body, but you know, if people are so fucking drunk, I mean, most of the time they don't even feel it. Most of the time, a guy gets beat in a fight because of inertia, because he's moving, and that gravity just takes a hold and just thumps him. Fox, I haven't seen you on my Twitter in a while. I don't even know where the hell you're at, but I would throw you a link. Oh, Jesus Christ. I really have to start cleaning out my fucking... Oh, I'm going to start doing this too. I don't know if he'll ever get it, but I'm going to start sending an open link to Rory if he ever wants to jump into the stream. I think that would be fun. Damn it, Fox. I can't find you. You can always send me a DM and I will DM you back. I'm just fucking lazy at this point, man. I got like 100 people in my goddamn direct messages. Oh, wait a minute. There you are. There's a link for you. Because don't you know I'm all about the bass. About that bass. No treble. And I'm bringing booty back. Why don't you bitches just get off that crack? And what the hell? Chop Top, I'll send you one too. Because I know you're closer up to the top of the stack here. I don't know why I keep going back to a little Scottish. Doesn't make sense to me. So yes, there are links out. So if anybody wants to conversate, I love using words that aren't actually words. Then the link's actually open. Thanks to everyone who's dropped in for a little bit. All dozen of you. And hey, yeah, this... Oh!
Hey, Doc.
And how are you this evening?
I feel so much better than I did this time ago last night. It's not even funny.
Was it a bug?
I don't know. I got a sinus infection, which I still have, but then it went into my like lungs and throat. But that part has already pretty much gone away, so that's good because it hurt to breathe for a while.
Oh yeah. The only time I ever get any type of illness is usually pharyngitis, which is just a swelling of the pharynx, so you can't actually go horizontal and sleep. You have to like sleep in a chair or your throat will close and you die.
When you start a story like this, I never know if it ends up as a joke or real.
No, it's real. And welcome, Snow Fox. How are you?
Terrible. Thanks for asking, though. Just to make sure, is my headset working? I'm testing out a different one.
Well, I know your mic's working. I can't tell you if your headset's working.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just did an interview with Irate Bear on Thursday and found my headset's busted. One of the earphone ear whatever is not working right. So a little bit pissed off there.
Cloak wants me to admit that I got a spooky ghost BJ. Now, I actually did get a BJ from somebody wearing a ghost costume, but the one that really turned me off was when a girl wanted to blow me and she was dressed up like a zombie. I didn't want I didn't want zombie teeth anywhere near my tender regions.
Were you afraid she'd bite?
Yes, I was. And just to tell a real quick story, when I was in my younger days messing around as a teen with teen on teen chemistry, I dated a girl who had braces, and she wanted to practice her oral skills. Long story short, I have a scar in a particular place on my body from that experience.
Hey, at least she didn't get her braces stuck on you. That would be a very embarrassing ER trip.
It wasn't stuck because she ripped away. She ripped the flesh away.
Oh,
that's horrible.
Ouch.
Yeah, live through that. Damn. It's not fun at all. Good morning, Joshua. I see you're in the chat today. But yeah, I am. Yeah. I don't know. Anybody who's got a costume that has kind of gnashing teeth, anybody who comes up with Dracula fangs, I know they're not going down on me. It's just not happening.
Not a fan of bloodsuckers either.
Well, I don't mind the nocturnal cocksuckers, but the nocturnal bloodsuckers, no, they're bad. Hey, Viper, how are you doing? We will get some estrogen in this stream sooner or later.
Well, Viper would be perfect for that.
And I thusly have sent it out. And if you ladies and gentlemen out there who appreciate bodices and corsets, haven't looked around either on Cadence or on Viper Swords, there were some very nice examples of how to wear a corset.
Speaking of Cadence, where is she?
She did last night she was going to a Ren fair, and apparently it's an all weekend event. So she's probably out partying with her Ren fair buddies.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, IRL is so tough to pull off nowadays. And yes, Viper, if you'd like, the link is in your DMs on the Twitters. But yeah, so you don't think that there is no supernatural?
Nope.
Or you think there is no supernatural? There we go, phraseology.
Nope, I don't buy it. Well, I mean, first of all, if it happened in this world, by definition, it's not supernatural because it happened in nature. But that's just being like a picky English dick.
Well, yeah, but it's better than nature. That's why they call it supernatural.
I don't know. In every movie I've seen, the supernatural seems a little bit more depressed and depraved.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of movies that try to do supernatural events with a positive spin. The only one I can think of off the top of my head real quick is Field of Dreams. But then again,
and Ghost.
That could have gone one way or the other too.
Well, how about the Angels in the Outfield? I mean, angels.
I try to not watch Christopher Lloyd movies. He creeps me out, man. He's the kind of guy that every time I see him, he looks like the one that drives around in the beat up panel van with the free candy. I don't trust him, Marty.
But now that being said, I can enjoy horror films. I can enjoy good like horror stories. I just don't believe it, and it's probably no coincidence that at least I consider this movie to be a horror movie. It's probably no coincidence that I find Alien to be my favorite horror movie because it is actually conceivable and believable.
I found it to be incredibly claustrophobic, which is hard to pull off.
Now, I got a question. What's the difference there between supernatural and supranatural?
I don't know. Super unnatural sounds like something you would find in a boutique grocery store.
I am not going to claim to be intelligent. I am simply going to tell you I'm looking up the definition of the word as we speak.
Which super unnatural?
I know what supernatural means. I'm looking up what supernatural means.
I think technically it's things which can't actually be explained by science.
Well, apparently it means the same thing.
Okay.
Its definition is transcending the natural, comma, supernatural.
See, I would think of the aliens as more supernatural. I mean, it's possible, but ghosts more supranatural, like phantoms who can't interact with the world, something like that.
I've always found the concept of the aliens to be highly believable.
Well, it is pretty much an idiot's fallacy to believe that we're the only life in an infinite universe.
Oh, yeah.
I 100% agree. As much as I'm sure there's no supernatural stuff going on, I have total confidence in the fact that there are thousands of other, if not more, intelligent life forms in the universe.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that they're not making a 1 billion mile space trip to stick things up our butts.
Yeah, I don't believe in UFOs on Earth, but I believe in intelligent alien life.
Yeah, I think there's something out there. It just hasn't gotten to us, and if it has, it stopped, took a look, and went, no thanks.
Well, what about all the Area 51 crap? I mean,
well, Area 51 was just a place where they wanted to keep certain technologies under wrap because I've heard many people make the case that Area 51 is for reverse technology. They found something somewhere, trying to explain the fact that we had such a huge leap in technology from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s. I mean, I remember going to a place where they showed a supercomputer, and the supercomputer took up 5 rooms, and they were floor to ceiling cabinets.
And now your phone could outperform it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's got to be something that was the linchpin to that, because
just having the aid of the computers themselves could easily explain much of this. Because even if that 5-room thing would be a joke compared to today's technology, it still could outcalculate anything humans could do.
Oh yeah. And a very good morning to you, Alucard. A very good morning to you, Water Jabbers. I'm throwing Water Jabbers a link too, because he loves this geek stuff. But yeah, that right now is my only truly outstanding question. I mean, because we pretty much already figured out, you know, who killed Kennedy and that Bigfoot isn't real and that humans actually built the pyramids. We pretty much figured all that shit out. But technology, the way that it's made, technology in some ways frightens me, just because of the fact that it's advancing faster than our civilization, and it's like strapping a rocket onto your ass. It's pushing our civilization farther and faster than I think we have the intellectual capability of actually handling.
You're not ready for the singularity?
No, I don't think so.
Really interesting theories about that subject.
Well, and them also dealing with, you know, in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, they were talking about how artificial intelligence is a pipe dream. And we've gotten 40 years down the road, and now it's a reality where they're testing basic AI. I mean, hell, the bots that Google uses, you know, for their algorithms, they're almost to the point of sentience.
Well, I will say, if we ever do reach that point, I hope to God it's not coming from either Google or Facebook, because then I know which way the world ends.
Well, what if,
coming from Skynet?
What if it's coming from Disney?
I would take my chances with Skynet over Google any day.
What's going on, everybody?
And a very good morning to you. I missed the show today. How'd it go?
Oh, it went really good. Other than the fact that I've had a cough all day long, so I couldn't really laugh at a lot of the things I wanted to laugh at, but otherwise it went really well.
Good deal. So hopefully you're whipping Hey Man Nice Shot into shape.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm whipping him into shape. I think both of us kind of just have a pretty good rapport. And we're both kind of on board with the types of stories that we want to laugh at every week.
Well, that's a good thing. Doing what you love to do. You know, without getting into that long, drawn-out conversation, there's at least a million content providers that are missing that point. But you know, oh, by the way, that what's that one thing that was the rage for this week about getting help?
Oh, Better. I think it was Better Help or Better Life. I can't remember what the name of the company was, but yeah, that was a pretty big topic this week.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
Better Help counseling services.
Dude, what they could have paid me.
Well,
I'd have been okay drawing a check.
Well, so I guess I'm of two minds on this. Like, I don't begrudge somebody getting paid for something. And if you've taken the work up to foster a fan base and stuff like that, and somebody wants to cut you a check to promote something, I think 100% of the time you should take the check. At the same time, with psychological services, and especially like therapy and stuff, now you're getting into pretty dicey territory, because the long-term effects of a bad therapist can be really, really bad.
Well, I know I would have signed on to Candid instantly, but I wouldn't have done any of that feedback shit. Well, unless they paid me again, and then I would, you know, I need money, so you know, I'll compromise my morals.
Oh God, you sound like the perfect big time YouTuber right now.
Yeah.
Well, no, so Doc's a little different in that he's actually honest about it. He's telling you, "Hey, I'll sell out for anything."
That is true. Most of them,
none of these big time YouTubers will tell you that.
I do believe that for every 100,000 subs, there's a certain chunk of your soul that erodes away.
Hey, I mean, you got to draw a line somewhere.
Oh, come on, you guys. You know I'm writing this in sarcasm font, right? Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I might be shilling, well, later on, and it's technically not a paid advertisement. It's just an exchange of services. When Gerald Casal, they're finishing up the final touches for them distributing Devo sponsored vodka called D Vodka, and he's gonna send me some of that, and I will shill the shit out of that because it's alcohol, and everybody should like alcohol.
Yeah, well, I think the important thing that a lot of these YouTubers have missed, and you've seen this with the Candid stuff, and you saw this somewhat with the Better Life stuff or Better Help, I can't remember which it is, that, you know, I mean, when it comes to advertising a product, you're putting your name on that product. So it's on you to make sure that you've done the research into the product to make sure that it is what it says it is. Otherwise, the backlash is going to be on you.
Well, yeah, there was some chick who tried to use BetterHelp, and she was just like, you know what? They gave me free consultation on it, and I took it, and it sucked. So I can't push these guys.
Well, at least it was free.
Yeah, well, I mean, what was it? Her quote unquote counselor that she got matched up with blew her off like the first 3 times.
Yeah, see, and stuff like that can do a lot of long-term damage, not just to the person looking to get help, but to the actual community of therapists.
Yeah, well, let's face it. If you're a psychologist, in like the normal sense, you're charging like $200 a session, so like $200 an hour. What kind of quality are you going to get for ones that charge $40 a week?
Yeah, and if you pay in advance, it's what, 30? So you know the discount digs even deeper.
I mean, you're getting the counselors who went to school on the short bus.
Well,
Yeah.
so that may not absolutely be true. You know, I mean, I think in a lot of cases, the convenience of not having to set up an office, not having to hire a secretary, not having to worry about all of the overhead, you know, you're saving a lot in terms of, you know, the overhead costs of running a therapy office. So I don't know. I mean, 30 or 40 a week, if you can bag six or seven, you know, people that are, you know, that are seeing you a week, you know, I mean, you can make some pretty good money doing that.
Well, I know my former Medicaid doctor, he ran his office like a puppy mill. He probably saw maybe 50 or 60 people a day, and they were just in and out, in and out. And
well, that's a problem with most Medicaid offices. In the healthcare industry, a lot of doctors' offices debate over whether or not to take Medicare or Medicaid patients because of the fact that you're going to have so many people that you're going to have to look after.
well, but you can limit them too, because I got in with this guy about 4 years ago, and like a year later, my wife wanted to go see him, and there was a cutoff. They couldn't accept any more patients. They were full up.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem, is that you have to get to that quote unquote cutoff, and oftentimes that cutoff is a lot larger than you're capable of handling.
Although I did find out how much it costs now that I'm not on any type of medical program now, and I'm just like, geez, you know, I'll roll the dice. I'll save up some money, because, you know, I've been off my scripts for a year, and that includes like insulin. So
that's not good.
Yeah,
that's not good. You need to get back on at least the insulin.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, I would rather have a roof over my head than supposed good health.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, if I'm healthy and homeless, that sucks.
You're not wrong.
No, I mean, I guess if that's the situation you're in, then yeah, I mean, it's a tough decision, but it's an obvious one.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was doing the GoFundMe for the PC, that's another reason why I felt bad, because I'm like, okay, I'll get this money in, but this has to all go to doing a PC. I can't say, well, you know, let me throw another $500 on that and just pad it. so I can have something to, go to the doctors with, or maybe if wife needs gas to get to work.
Well, you can always do a second one for this,
Oh God, no!
Yeah, you're sort of attracting the attention of the internet detectives.
Well,
we could start
yeah.
having mass therapy sessions on fucking streams like this.
Look, I'm one of the most critical people on e-begging. I've bitched about it before on Twitter and on my stream, but they're certainly highly. There's a huge, difference in what some of them are versus others.
Well, I mean, I will probably never run another one again. I mean, I'm incredibly thankful that this one worked out. As a matter of fact, I was sitting there with a pad of paper and a pen, working out, because I had several people behind the scenes saying, "This is what you need to get. This is how much it's going to cost. No, $1,500 is completely reasonable." And I started writing down everything with the peripherals to make sure that what I wanted to get was in range and everything to go with it was in range. So, yeah, I was half expecting somebody to pull off some bullshit and go, "Well, we need to see the receipts." Well, the first answer is fuck you. And the second answer is, I got receipts, but you're a dick. I'm not giving them to you.
Yeah, well, and that would have been my suggestion too. It would have been another time where I said, "Look, I donated significantly more money to this than you did. Fuck off."
Oh, and a good morning, Blackout. I will throw a link to our favorite Norwegian artist. Okay. Apparently, the ferries that are around Cadunt have no outlets, so she's going to have to pass unless she can find a charger somewhere. But if you're listening, Cadunt, and your battery is near dead, please take this advice: go drink in the real life, enjoy yourself, prop that bust up, and have some fun.
I don't know, when it comes to the whole GoFundMe, my main cutoff as far as like whether I personally think it's acceptable or unacceptable is, can the person work? Because if you're in your 20s and you're just a lazy ass who doesn't want to leave your mom's basement, I don't give a shit what you want or need. Get a goddamn job. But when it comes to you, Doc, I mean, that's not something you can do. So what do you do?
I'm very frustrated. I've had people who I have friends who own their own business, and they're just like, "Yeah, come out and you can do this." And I was like, "Dude, I can maybe have about 2 hours, and I'm just not cost effective for you." And they're like, "Yeah, but we know you need the money, and you're going to be a hard ass about it because in real life, I don't take charity. I will keep selling shit until there's nothing left to sell, and then start trying to sell blood. As a matter of fact, I can't give blood anymore because technically I was not supposed to be giving it anyway, being a diabetic, but I was giving it until they there's a term that they use at plasma centers called red arms, which means they can't tap a vein without collapsing it. And since I've been, in and out of the hospital so much and, running IVs and all that bullshit, my veins just fucking collapse. So now I can't even do what junkies do and go into a fucking plasma center and get $50 for my blood. That pisses me off.
I'd like to bring up an example of the GoFundMe, if I can, that I saw earlier today.
Oh, sure.
I'd kind of like to know what you all think of this, because I'm not sure exactly what to think of it. I mean, I have my opinion, but I can be harsh. So someone started a GoFundMe, and the premise was, I shot myself because I was trying to kill myself, but I failed.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the hospital for 2 months, like intensive care for a good part of it. All right, so there's all, and like I can't work anymore. I got fired from my job because of this, which I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I'll take his word for it, I guess.
Okay.
But okay, so if you're in the hospital for 2 months and a large chunk of it is in intensive care, your bill is 7 figures.
No, yeah, that's reasonable.
Um,
I mean, depending
Yeah.
on your insurance, but yeah.
yet the GoFundMe is for $1,000.
Yeah, that's not going to put a dent in it.
It's not going to do anything. So I wonder to myself, is this really just a plea for attention?
Probably.
Or maybe buy a better gun if that suicide attempt really went through.
Oof.
Well, it's really hard to fuck up suicide by gun. You really have to point it in the wrong direction.
Well, there was a woman, a couple weeks back, it shot herself twice and still lived, right?
No, did you guys see the one? Now this has been a while ago, and he made the talk show circuit. The stupid fucking kid that loaded a shotgun and put it up under his chin. He succeeded in blowing his fucking chin off. He didn't die, but he
Jesus.
blew off the front part of his face.
It means the shotgun was probably tilted forward.
Well, he had it. Yeah, he had it straight up under his chin, and it just went upwards. And if he wasn't using deer slug, he was just using shot, I think. And so
Yeah.
you know, little pellets are just going to bounce off the skull because it's made for that.
You know what I don't get. I'm not suicidal, bear in mind, not at all. But I do hope if and when the day comes where something horrible happens to me, like I have terminal cancer and it's reached the point where there's no quality of life, that I'm functional enough to just down a bottle of vodka and a bottle of painkillers. And really, I mean, for whatever reason, if you're intent on killing yourself, why wouldn't you do it that way? It doesn't hurt, and even if you fail, you throw up and wake up with a hangover.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so that's not necessarily true either, because if you end up in the hospital, then they'll pump your stomach, and so you wake up with a lot of tubes and the taste of charcoal in your mouth.
Well, you don't go sending out a mass text to people saying, "Hey, just so you know, I'm killing myself as we speak."
Oh, and a good morning to you, Zell. Most people who are committed to committing suicide, I think, and I hate to use this phrase, but most of them, it's just a cry for help. Because somebody who's serious about killing themselves really doesn't take a lot of time sharing the fact that they're going to kill themselves because they don't want anybody to interfere.
Exactly.
Yeah, the vast majority of the time when you're dealing with somebody who's attempting suicide or has committed suicide, you're dealing with somebody that has a tremendous amount of pain that they've been hiding.
Oh yeah, one of my next door neighbors, he was probably in his early 60s, and he went through cancer treatment, all the chemo, all that stuff. He got done with it, and then less than a year later, it came back, and he very quietly put all of his affairs into order, made sure that he got through the holidays, told his family that he loved them. Then, one quiet night in the spring, he just walked into his garage, shut the door, turned the music up loud, and pulled the trigger. That was it. He was done. He did not. Nobody knew it was coming. I'd talked to him like 3 days before, and he was all bright-tailed and bushy-eyed. So I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
I bet he wasn't even acting when he gave that impression to you. He was probably happy that for whatever reason he wanted to end it, that it was almost over.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I spent a lot of my younger years studying people because I was a chronic stutterer. So I would sit back and watch people's body language. That's become a skill. My wife says it's natural empathy, but no, I kind of learned it. That's why I like talking to people face to face most of the time. But yeah, I mean, he was completely relaxed. Like, you know, I guess in his mind, he was committed that this was something that was going to happen. Nothing was going to stop it. So he just might as well, you know, take a few of those breaths and enjoy the time that he had left. And I won't lie. I will take quality over quantity any day of the week.
Yep, I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah, and it's also possible that up until that point he hadn't made the decision yet. He was still thinking about it.
I don't think so. I think he already made the choice. He knew it. He was the one who told me, and he was all just matter of fact about it. He's like, yeah, the cancer came back again. And I'm like, oh man, that's fucking horrible. He's like, you know, God's will.
Jesus, that's depressing though.
Well, he was a really good guy too. But yeah, look, the worst thing you can do is deny somebody their choice and how they want to go out. Because I mean, I've seen people struggle and just rot and waste away in a bed because you know, a loved one cannot give up on them, even when they've already said right up front, you know, this is it. You know, I don't want any extreme measures. And I've got a oh shit, what's it called? It's a basic writ that says
living will.
Yeah, that says no extreme measures can be taken.
I have one of those too, and you know how it has a series of questions, you know, like the what if scenarios.
Yeah.
My answer is the same on every one of them. I want to die as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I don't want to burden those around me. I mean, there's enough pictures of me that exists. Now there's getting to be all these ramble streams where I talk about some of my life and the old stories. I mean, if they want something to look back and smile on, there's plenty of that shit around. But don't step in and tell me how I need to live or die. My brother went through. He had the same kind of cancer that Lance Armstrong had. You know, it started off as testicular and went to brain. Well, he beat it 3 times. And he told me afterwards, he's like, there isn't going to be a 4th time. I'm just going to let God take me because I'm not going back through that again. I did not enjoy it. Every step of the way, I just wanted to die. But he had 3 kids and a wife, and he was like, I can't give up on them right now. I have to live for them. And now that they're all out of the house and graduated and stuff, he's like, yeah, you know, God comes knocking again with cancer. I'm going out. I am not going to fight this fucking thing again. That's pretty ballsy.
It's also a perfectly valid decision if that's what the person wants. It's their business. It's no one else's.
Yeah. I mean, you can go and play in the abortion issue all you want, but when you're talking about a fully formed human being that's been on the planet for long enough, that's, you know, of the age of reason, leave them the fuck alone. I mean, as long, you know, go with the old pagan thing, you know, as long as it harms no one, do what you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally my philosophy towards people is that I think everybody should be free to make whatever decision they'd like, including, you know, whether or not they want to live.
Wait a minute. Zell's got a big, huge question. Let's say you start a charity stream / GoFundMe because you're about to be homeless and want to help getting a new place. You tell people you'll be in a motel for a couple of days while looking for a place. Then a week later, your donors find out you live in a sober living house and that you're there because your PO said to do that. If sober living was an option, then government funded programs are an option. In other words, you get into a rehab clinic and you have no need for charity money. Now, would you all consider that sketchy or dirty as fuck?
I mean, I think the answer is it depends on the person that we're talking about.
So that's quite the detailed hypothetical.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strangely specific hypothetical. But
Yeah, I've got to guess that it's less hypothetical than we suspect.
probably, that's true. Yeah. No, I mean, so I mean, it just depends on a whole lot of things, and the problem with the way a lot of people look at these charities is they look at it from one point of view, and they don't look at it from the other point of view, and so what they wind up with is a really incomplete idea of the way things happened. And then you have, a lot of other people that jump in with their opinions, which are also one-sided, and the timeline starts to get really muddy really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where in this scenario the person doesn't want everybody to know, because being homeless is less of a sin than being a drunk and trying to sober up in a halfway house. So they would kind of, fudge it there and say, I'm living in a motel instead of saying, I'm living in a sober living facility is a fucking halfway house.
Well, I mean, or alternatively, since this was proposed as a hypothetical, right? So let's extend the hypothetical situation a little bit.
Okay.
Let's say that at their, their monthly meeting with their PO, they mention the fact that they're about to be homeless, and we'll say that they got just enough money, maybe, to get into an apartment, right? And so, the PO says, "Tell you what, I've got a friend that works at this, this sober house. Go talk to them. We can get you in there for a week. Just answer the questions as if you're an alcoholic, right?" So it's just a week layover basically until they get into their apartment, but it's saving them the money that they would need to get into the apartment.
Okay, and
well, so I mean, at that point, they're trying to use all of the money that they've gathered up to get into the apartment, and save the money that they would be spending on the hotel at that point.
well, but they're trust me, I have lived in those hotels where it's $100 a week, and there ain't no maids, and the only way the sheets get changed is if you flip them inside out.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is say that they raised $770, right? And they needed $700 to get into an apartment. The apartment wasn't going to be ready for a week and a half, right? And they've got to put that $700 down, right? Well, so they're another short, using your pricing, $130. Whereas their PO helping them out and getting them into this this sober house, helps them out. Now they can get into the apartment. And that's the kind of stuff, like, you're not going to get that half of it by the time the outrage mob starts coming after him for being in the sober house in the first place.
Well, yeah, once again, it's all about circumstances, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it just depends on the person. I mean, whether or not you trust the person is really the determining factor. And if you trusted enough to donate money to them, you probably should give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well, I can see that because, altruism and philanthropy isn't dead yet. I mean, we know that just by causes that we're opposed to that get funded and get overly funded. And we just sit back and scratch our heads like normal, rational adults. But you know what? If it's something that somebody believes in, if they feel comfortable with, financially supporting, then, if it harms nobody, then, leave them to do what they do. Let's see.
Well, and that's always my contention. Like, I only donate to causes that I'm sure of. I mean, if I'm not 100% certain that the money is going where I think it's supposed to go, then I don't worry about it.
Well, then you should never go to GoFundMe because God only knows.
Oh yeah. Well, I've only participated in 2 GoFundMe's. So and one of them wasn't even a GoFundMe. So
Well, I think and there are some out there that are funny, like the guy who did the potato salad thing. I thought,
or like the guy that shot himself and did a live
what?
stream. Or the guy that we just mentioned a while back. I'm sorry, but I feel bad for the guy, but I'm not going to donate to him right after coming out of the emergency room. I'm sorry. Go see a therapist. Come back 6 months later when I know you're not going to be suicidal and won't use that money for a better gun.
Yeah, I mean, if I could, and I tried this out. I've got arm braces and I got leg braces and all this shit, and I tried to go help my my buddy just by being a janitor, but you know, I was literally done after 2 hours, and I just couldn't move anymore, and it pissed me off more than anything else, because you know, I've had a job ever since I was like 10 years old. I hate not working. I hate not providing. And and I don't care what anybody says. It makes me feel like less of a man if I'm not there to support my family.
yeah, no, I'm definitely on board with that sentiment.
I feel you though.
By the way, I do have a GoFundMe. I promised.
do?
I promised all donations will go to either booze, drugs, or prostitutes.
Well, but you've got your goals plainly set.
Yeah, my goal is $1 million. I want to live wildly for the rest of my life.
It's a lot of money for
Oddly
booze and
enough,
drugs.
Oddly enough, I'm still waiting for that first donation.
Well, and what was the one the only one where I was like, you can't be serious? I think it was either COG or Sinatra Says. They set up a GoFundMe to buy them a gun.
Yeah,
I think it was
you and
failure,
Pepper,
actually.
Sinatra, yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, buy your own gun. You know, that's a luxury. Well, down here it's kind of a necessity, but if you're poor enough, you can substitute with a baseball bat.
I mean,
And
I got a
good morning,
hatchet.
John Doe.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with people setting up their donations and stuff for whatever they want to set it up for. Again, I mean, just realize that when you're donating, that's where it's going to. And if you don't think that that's worth it, then just don't donate the money.
Yeah, that's true. And there were a lot of people behind the scenes on my GoFundMe that were like, hey, I can throw a dono on there, and I'm like, well, you guys are kind of helping me out because of my total ignorance, my technological ignorance, and I felt that was not to talk down to the people that donated, but that was just as much of a great donation as money was. I mean, I think people donate in any way that they can if they believe. I had a lot of people on their streams that pimped out my stuff with no hesitation and no asking on my part. As a matter of fact, I rarely talked about the GoFundMe that I had set up on Doctor on Call, just because one, yes, I was a little bit embarrassed, like the little kid, walking up, can I have some more gruel, please? That's what I kind of felt like.
Well, I mean, getting into gaming on a PC or getting to the point where you own a gaming PC is pretty expensive. I mean, it's pretty cost prohibitive.
Well, I mean, buying games is also very cost prohibitive, and I did not factor that into the budget. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, that's another thing. But I mean, getting to the point where you have a machine that's capable of doing what you actually need to do. I mean, you're essentially talking about a gaming PC at that point. And again, I mean, those start at about the $1,200 to $1,500 range if you're wanting to get into the middle of wherever gaming is at the time.
Well, and with the with all the extra shit now that runs like Streamlabs, or trying to have a digital sampler on, you have if all this shit is running at once, you definitely have to have something that's tweaked up enough to handle it. Mine simply cannot. I mean, I was so embarrassed because I don't know if you saw the episode I did with Pony Trap. We played a few of their videos, and the video sounded like shit. I listened back to it just so I could hear the videos, and they sounded like shit. That's why at the end of the show, it's just like, hey guys, just go to their website or go on YouTube and listen to them. I swear I have not I've not been a good representative of this band.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I figured that it was just a bitrate issue.
Well, it's a shit rate issue, and it's dealing with my computer. And I appreciate John Doe donating his anti-boomer skills. Okay, Zell actually said, my opinion, if you guys didn't know, is that is very shady and kind of manipulative. You let your donors think apartment, but end up in a sober living, which again means money wasn't quite needed. Well, then again, it could fall to the scenario that Water Jabbers was talking about.
Right. I mean, so I agree with that. If the person knows from the jump that they're going to end up in a sober living house, then yeah, 100% it's shady and manipulative. But if the person doesn't know that ahead of time and winds up in a situation that winds them up into a sober house for a temporary amount of time, then that's just a temporary jump into the apartment. So long as the money actually ends up going for what they said it was going to go for, I don't think that it's very shady.
How much do you say your gaming PC goes for nowadays?
Well, so if you wanted to get into the mid-range of games that are coming out, you're going to spend somewhere in the $1,200 to $1,500 range.
Be right back, starting GoFundMe.
Yeah, I mean, and John Doe pointed out that gaming PCs expand an extensive range, but if you end up on the lower end of technology, your parts are going to start to become obsolete faster, and you're going to end up paying that $1,500 either way.
Oh yeah, there's honestly, the one that I have right now, and I've said this ad nauseum. It was I bought it from an insurance company. It was a networking computer. I even have to connect into it with Ethernet cable.
Well, I mean, I still prefer to use Ethernet over wireless anyway for my PC, but
yeah, you usually have less problems from what I've seen. But I mean, they were just essentially clearing them out. They're like, we need to get rid of them, and I paid. They were already at that time, like 5 years old, 6 years old. So I paid $67 for it, and I don't game, so it was basically doing what I wanted it to do, which was be able to get on the internet. And then all of a sudden, I got hooked up with Sisyphus, and he wanted to do this and that and get fancy and expand. And I'm like, cool, man, as long as that's on your side, because what I've got is not going to handle it. And then I ended up, going my own way, and all of a sudden everything just started to bugger up. I mean, literally, we downloaded Streamlabs, and I think it was No Life who was helping me walk through it. And he was like, okay, you got it downloaded. I'm like, yeah, it's downloaded. It's processing right. And as soon as I said that, the computer crashed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I rebooted and got back on. He was like, well, what happened? I was like, I don't know. So we tried it again, and it hit me with a B-sod. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So at this point, it was going to be a roll of the dice. I literally, since that day, have not turned off my computer, because I know it's going to be a bigger chance every time that I turn it off and turn it back on. It would say, your PC is experiencing disk errors, run a disk check. And they'd run the disk check and there wouldn't be dick. That they're like, well, there's nothing we can do about the bad sector, so let's go ahead and start up. And I'm like, what the fuck? So,
well, in your case, it probably wasn't even a bad sector. It was probably just Streamlabs OBS wanting to use more RAM than you had in your machine.
Yeah. My computer, anytime I'm trying to open more than like 3 windows, starts walking funny. And those fans just kick into high gear.
Yeah, so I mean, but see, this thing, like I explain this to people a lot of times. I mean, you should really only buy as much technology as necessary for what you need it for. I mean, if you needed a hammer, you wouldn't go to Home Depot and buy $200, $300 worth of tools, right? You'd just buy a hammer. Well, the same thing is true of computers. I mean, if all you're looking to do is get on the internet and look at Facebook or Twitter or whatever, a $67 used computer is going to do that. If what you're looking to do is stream, obviously a $67 computer isn't the way you want to go. So, I mean, once your needs change, then obviously your technology has to change. But you really should only buy as much technology as you absolutely have to.
Yeah, and the only thing I wanted was, and I did research as far as what was industry standard, and then I just went like one step past that because I know that my computer is going to have to last me a lot longer. Because I'm hoping I get like 5, 6, 7, 8 years out of this. And
So,
by
Yeah,
that time,
you can get that out of that. You really can.
yeah, and I mean by the time that comes around, we'll probably have the RoboCop thing where you could just have the little jack in the back of your head, and you just
probably not on that, but
not. Oh, hold on. Let me interject for just 1 second here because I have no technological know-how whatsoever. So, what if you're gonna start maybe editing videos? What would a gaming PC be good enough, or do you need something more higher grade?
okay, so the term gaming PC is a really general term. What it basically refers to is any PC that's using high-end components, right? So for a video editing rig, you're going to want RAM and you're going to want a video card. For a gaming rig, you're going to want RAM and you're going to want a video card. So what you end up looking at as just a video editing rig is a gaming rig to somebody else that uses the same components.
Yeah, because I've got I have a copy of Adobe Vegas Pro that somebody gave to me, and its rendering rate is a fucking crawl on this computer, so much so that I gave up because it just didn't have the oomph to process it.
Yeah, I think with the 1070, if I remember the benchmarks correctly, with Adobe products, you should be able to render a 10-minute video in about 20 to 25 minutes, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a long time since I looked at the rendering benchmarks for the card that you have, but I mean, so let's say that you decide you want a professional video editing rig. You're probably looking at a Threadripper CPU that's probably going to cost you somewhere in the range of $900 to $1,000, and you're probably looking at the new 280, the RTX 280 or 2080 Ti that just came out, which I think John Doe can correct me, but it isn't about $1,500 right now. And that's just for 2 of your components. Then you're looking at your RAM, which you're probably going to end up spending, $200 almost on, if not more. So yeah, I mean, and that's, again, this is all like 100% top of the line premium components.
All right, I'm making my goal $2,000.
Oh, dude, there were some computers that I looked at. One of my friends, who's a real wise ass, was like, "Yeah, here's the one you need," and it was 3,500. And I mean, it had god awful stats on it. I mean, it was like what was it, like a 30? Well, wait a minute, it was. The processor was like it ran like over 4 gig of processing. The RAM, I think, was like 32,
Yeah, which is really good.
which is like huge. And then the whole thing was solid state.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, I mean, if later on you wanted to upgrade to to a large terabyte, or 2 terabyte hard drive just for storage, you could easily do that with almost no technical knowledge. All you have to do is you just have to hook the 2 cables that fit the 2 ports on the hard drive in. And again, they're the only 2 cables that fit the port, and then run the computer, and then it'll actually prompt you to set the hard drive up.
Dude, the only time I ever open the case is to take my little mini air compressor and blow out the fans.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. Did you get a case that has a glass panel?
Yeah.
Okay, you probably also want to invest in like a microfiber cloth to keep that clean as well. Just so you can see into the PC to figure out how the dust situation's working itself out.
Yeah, I definitely have microfiber cloth. I bought a shit ton of it when we were filming a movie about 10 years ago, because invariably we always had to clean the damn lenses on the cameras. So I think I'm stocked for that one, but yeah, I mean, it looks like everything that I need. I mean, even the SSD in it is 512 gig. So
yeah, but you'll go through 512 gig pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it's still better than everybody kept pushing me away from the HDD because they kept saying if it fails all the way. And
well, so that's true, but it's more of a price per storage that you're looking at. I mean, the price per storage on an HDD is relatively low. The main thing that you want an SSD for in a PC nowadays, or an M.2, is for loading times. So you would want your your operating system and all of your applications and all of that stuff to run off of the SSD. So the loading times are a lot faster. But then you'd want the hard drive, the mechanical hard drive for the storage.
Wow. I'm happy with it. I did also, because I can't let go of the old school tech. I did get an optical drive for like $20, so I can burn all my stories onto a disc, because a disc, when it comes down to it, a CD or a DVD is definitely more trustworthy, because you can't crash a CD. I mean, you can take a knife to it and scratch the shit up and fuck it up, but they have a certain amount of durability that I like and I trust.
Yeah, well, and hard copies are always great to have. I mean, you can install a hard copy of anything anywhere.
Yeah, and I have 2 dead drives, external hard drives. I have 2 dead ones. One of them contains all the movie footage that I shot, and the other one contains probably about 50 stories that I didn't have anyplace else. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to recover those, because the disc still spins. It's just the computer did not read them. It could not read them. I wouldn't get anything but just the disc continuously spinning. So I got Occam also said to get a what do you call it, a hard drive cradle, and then with software I could just plug the cradle in and let it keep rolling and rolling and rolling until it finally hits in, because he said usually as long as the disc is still spinning, you've got about an 80% chance of recovering the drive. And all I need is just a short window, because I'll pull all that shit off in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds like that'll work for you.
Yeah, because I want it to. I wanted basically all the peripherals that would go with, okay, what am I going to need to stay creative? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I got a new set of cans. I got, because people were giving me shit about my $2 and $3 headsets that I was using. I got an armature to hold the mic, so now I don't have it on this wobbly ass tripod. Oh God, I got a 7-port USB plug-in, so I'll never have to bother with running out, because I think the one that's coming only has like 3 ports, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to run out.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, once again, it goes fast, but I wrote it all down as far as what can I afford, what can't I afford, and I came to everything that I got, and full disclosure, I did misappropriate $5 of that fund to go eat an Arby's double.
Oh, there's a new scandal on the horizon.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's the
Call the
scandal.
detectives.
There's your scandal. Take it and run with it.
That's shady as fuck, Doc.
Yeah,
you better hope COG doesn't get wind of this.
Yeah, you better hope.
But I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
Okay, my cancer came back, and the doctor said that I needed to treat it with an Arby's double.
I was going to apologize, by the way. I forgot that I wasn't on Discord and that my mic is live, so it's not push to talk. So you've been hearing all of my coughing.
I'm not sure if you've been hearing my typing, but I apologize for you. Thanks for putting up with that.
Should I change the name of this to the apology stream? God damn.
Well, I just want to apologize for the for all of the coughing noise and stuff. It's not pleasant to listen to, I'm sure.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of sparked quite a bit of talk in the chat about PCs, and I know dick about it. I just had some very in the know people tell me what I needed to get. I trusted them, and I got a great beast coming, and hopefully I'll have everything before the Ghastly interview. Because we have been planning this for quite a while, but Ghastly, he's got IRL to deal with, and the first thing once I announced that is like, oh, so you're going to talk about the AP split, and I was like, no, I think that's already been talked about.
Well, and why would you want to talk about it?
Yeah,
I mean, of all of the questions you could ask the guy, that's the one you're going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the to Gulf City, the evolution on it, but as far as it goes, what went down between Justin and Johnny Mac is their own goddamn business. I mean, I can see only a tangential question about it, because I am curious how he's going to fill such a large role. And I think that's an inbounds question, but I've got, anytime I do a show, I always have him come in to what I call the green room, which is just the hangout. And I have him come in like 30 minutes early. And I always give a breakdown. This is how the show runs. Nursey comes on, I do my intro, boom, we're right into it. Hour later, we're doing Q&A. Is there anything that's out of bounds? Is there anything that's off limits? Because I will make sure not to go there. Because, the mantra of the stream is no politics, no religion, no BS. And I certainly never, ever want to be known as somebody who ambushes another.
Right. I mean, it's the thing about it is it's not even particularly that interesting. I mean, as far as a subject goes, I mean, the two people handled it like adults. They went out, they explained the situation fairly clearly. and they've moved on, and they're continuing to be friends afterwards. So I don't understand what you're going to get out of that question, other than what's already been explained.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people wanting to assuage their drama boners, and I refuse to do that. I hate to sound highfalutin and everything, but the people that I bring on, I want them to, at the very least, inspire one person listening. To basically not bring on somebody who's going to shit all over the world and say, everything sucks. The people that I bring on are incredibly passionate about what they do, and they may do it in a way that hitherto unknown to a listener, and that listener could hook into it and go, well, shit, let me try that.
Well,
And a very
and I
good
mean,
morning to you, Deborah.
And again, what could you possibly be expecting? Like, Gasly for this entire time has answered this question the same way, but he's suddenly, because it's you asking the question, he's going to go, "Oh, well, I just didn't like the fact that he smoked my weed."
Yeah, and
I mean, like,
and the thing is, I treat an interview, because I've done interview press junkets previously in my old life, and I treat it like I'm the last person that these guys are going to see in this junket that's been running for 8 hours straight. And, I don't know if you guys know how press junkets work, but usually they put stars in a room. Like, say it's the Avengers. They'll put in like Chris Hemsworth with Chris Evans in one room, and then they'll put in the Black Widow chick and the Hulk guy. They'll put them in one room together, and then they'll put Tom Hiddleston and some other guy in the room together, and you literally have 15 minutes with them. You go in, you shake hands, you cut your interview, and then you go to the next room, and then you go to the next room until you run out of rooms. And then they give you your EPK, and you walk away and become a shill for the movie. But I want to be the kind of guy where I walk in on the last interview, and I literally ask them questions that nobody else asked them, or do it in a way that allows them to be like, oh, okay. And they're actually interested in having answers. I mean, I just want it to feel like, you're catching up with an old school buddy that you haven't seen for, a few years. And so you guys meet up in the bar, and you're just having drinks and shooting the shit and talking about stuff.
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's why your interviews come out so well.
Well, I appreciate that, and I really do think it's the choice of people that I interview. I mean, they're on point. They're incredibly interesting. I try to make sure that I get a half and half. That I get half the people from IRL and the other half from the internet. Now, I know that my IRL stuff does not do as well as the internet, but I don't give a fuck, because, my show, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying myself, and really, I think at the end of it, people might come away with something interesting.
I'm not trying to suck your dick here, but I do enjoy your show, and you've been kind of an inspiration to me, man. You've helped me come out of my shell just a little bit, getting to talk to more people and doing my own interviews. And I just kind of want to thank you a bit for having me around, letting me talk to you in the first place.
Oh, not a problem, man. I mean, everybody's got it in them. It's just if they want to pull it out or not. I think there are a lot of good ideas out there, but the bad thing about it is a lot of people don't act on good ideas. if they act at all. And I spend a lot of my time on the interwebs behind the scenes, either helping people out or giving some type of sagely advice I have because I'm old and I've done things, or just kicking people in the ass and saying, no, go do this. You already have the idea. I'm not telling you to do something that you're not thinking about already. And that's why I don't have any problems with the word community.
Oh, I hate that word.
Well, I don't use it often, but I don't have a problem with it because I don't use it in the same context that others bastardize it with.
Well, I think the problem with, like take for instance the quote unquote skeptic community is it really binds the skeptics together as their content. But
I thought it was their pukey personalities.
Wow.
And yeah, Jeff Holiday, I'm looking at you.
I mean, Jeff Holiday looks like he smells like puke. So, but I mean, in this case, this really is kind of a community because you have a lot of smaller YouTubers that are all doing their own thing that have similar relationships with a lot of viewers and good rapport with each other, to where they appear on each other's shows. They want the other person to succeed. I mean, it really is more of a community, in the traditional sense.
Yeah, and when I insult community, I'm not. My insult is geared towards larger, pompous individuals, not us little people.
Well, and and they're asshats that are trying to climb a social ladder that simply does not exist because of the fact that YouTube spreads out way too far to be able to climb up. I mean, there's never going to be anybody again like PewDiePie or Markiplier or that chopping shit up channel that has or Casey Neistat having 10 12 million viewers.
I've always said there's only one celebrity on YouTube, just one. There's PewDiePie is the only person on YouTube that normal people in the real world have any idea who he is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so I would put Markiplier and Jacksepticeye into that same category. I've met grown adults that don't watch YouTube that know who they are.
I was hearing a couple people talking about Alex Jones at McDonald's the other day. So,
well, Alex Jones isn't just Alex Jones is a celebrity, but that's not just because of YouTube.
Yeah, it has very little to do with YouTube, actually.
Fair enough.
Yeah, YouTube was just a platform, but if you go with the mirror of it, Keemstar is kind of like an Alex Jones, and nobody would know him outside. In the IRL, none of us are even a blip. But I do have to defend with this. There are people who are big horror fans, and you mention a name like Tom Savini or Michael Berryman. There are even Harry Manfredini, and the horror people know those names. But if you ask somebody who's not a horror fan who these guys are, 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to know. So technically, YouTube's like a genre. I guess it is literally a genre.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a corner of the internet. And the internet is a series of tubes. So
I thought they were optic or fiber optic cables. No,
it's a joke. It was a joke from a senator. I can't remember which one, but there was a bill for the internet, and he famously on the Senate floor said the internet is just a series of tubes, and it became a meme instantly.
Vacuum
especially
tubes?
amongst probably not vacuum tubes, but it really doesn't matter because there's no tubes. So
I do have to say that at almost 4 a.m, that I am willing to perform a crime on Deborah Miller. Because if she's got weed, I want it.
Yeah, I was worried for a second this was going down the Me Too path.
Well, if you're anywhere up north, you can drive my way. We'll smoke a bowl together.
I'm stuck in the Midwest, but I'll never turn it down. I was going to go on a rock expedition once my disability came through, because I know a lot of people in the rock community who also do mining. Matter of fact, one of them was a guy who was on the bulldozer operators on that Weather Channel show, Prospectors.
Are you gonna go boulder hunting with Mundane Matt?
No, but I did send Matt a DM of my balls, and then I sent it to the internet.
Oh, so you're the person that made him think that was Joaquin's balls?
No. Have you guys seen my balls?
No.
No, but I've seen Joaquin.
No, thanks.
Everybody's seen Joaquin's. Come on. First time I saw the whole King of Pole thing, I thought two things. I'm like, well, that person really has good pubic maintenance. And number two, that KOP is going to be on his nutsack for quite a while because he did it in Sharpie.
Mm. Mistakes were made.
Good morning, everybody.
I'm not offended by imagination, but good God, use a fucking dry erase marker for God's sake.
I'm so happy I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
Oh,
If you don't know, you don't want to know.
I just came in at Sharpie on balls.
Yeah. Long story short, and good morning, Chop Top.
Good morning.
Long story short, Joaquin, for some reason or another, decided to write King of Pole, KOP, on his balls and send it to him. And now it's kind of like that kiss in Godfather 2, that every time he sends his balls to somebody with his name on it, that they end up crashing and burning and excommunicated.
Well, that was the thing, is when Monday Matt went on the kill stream and said that Joaquin had sent his balls, like I think he meant it as more like a joke. I don't think he realized that a lot of people, they look and they go, oh, okay, so we're at that point in your career.
Yeah, but he went insane. Matt went insane. He's like, if you send that to me, I swear to God, I'll report you and I'll get you kicked off Twitter. And it's like, you don't know that that's not a thing anymore, that people already have 1, 2, 3 burner accounts already set up for the possibility that Twitter's going to douche them.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, it's Mundane Matt. Do we really think that Mundane Matt has his hand on the pulse of anything?
Well, technically one thing.
Maybe.
Because he can't get chicks, so. Okay, I have gone ahead and posted my balls on Twitter. So if you guys want to see you. And, for the dozen people in the chat, if you care to take a look at my balls, they are glorious. They are magnificent.
Well, while you guys are all staring at Doc's marvelous balls, I'm going to go grab a bottle of water. I'll be right back.
Those are some shiny balls, Doc.
Yeah, I like them.
Almost like you polish them.
See, I couldn't have those in my house.
I
irritate my wife too much. I'd fucking get caught and domed by one of them.
I play with my balls on a daily basis.
Got a lot of balls, sir.
Yeah, I've been collecting for many years.
Probably that big gray and black one right in the center. She'd pick that fucking thing up and dome me with it.
That one's pretty heavy. That's black tourmaline in quartz. Now if you look at the one in the very back left, That's an onyx one. That one will fucking kill you. It's like the size of a bocce ball.
I watched a video not too long ago about a guy who makes things like this, cuts spheres out of rocks. Pretty cool how he does it.
Go ahead.
He just has like a homemade rig. Like he has like it looks like a core sampler that cuts out like an like almost like a pill shaped, and then he sets that in. It's pretty much 3 cupped sanding machines on boards that he has bungee tie around, so it keeps pressure on it, and then it just has hoses that recycle water, and he just sets it in there, tightens the bungee accordingly, and turns them on and lets it go.
Oh yeah. The reason I brought up the story about the rock collecting was that good morning, furry. Was that I've been invited to go out mining in Colorado, digs in California, and there's a friend of mine in Arizona who has like 3 sphere making machines, but before you can actually put it in there, you have to bring it down to a reasonable size, and then it will turn the sphere 360 as it's
sanding it. It'll just keep turning it.
Yeah,
it was just one of those things I landed on by chance, and like I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Have any of you ever seen the water jet channel?
No.
When I say water jet, I mean like, you know, an industrial piece of equipment that shoots water out at such pressure it will cut through anything.
Oh, I've been around one of those, but
you know, they have videos of like it cutting straight through the middle of an anvil, like no problem. They had one episode where they actually made an onyx knife.
Nice.
Just from the water jet, which I imagine would be pretty hard to do.
Is Atema up? Atema just responded to that. I'm gonna throw her a fucking link too. We got to get a little estrogen in here.
Yeah, like you got it down to size by using like a almost like a concrete saw, and then his little sanding rig made it.
Yeah, I mean, she's not too particular about getting it down to the right size, as long as it gets it down to the right size, and then she'll just turn it over to the machine and let it go for about 2 hours, and it'll turn it into a perfect sphere. Now I know I've talked to Atema, but oh fuck, it was probably on Discord. God damn it.
Do you want me to send her the link on Discord?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, please.
I would be happy to.
I like Atema.
Oh, she's good people.
Plus, I really like to, for these ramble streams, bring in a mix and match of people. You know, some that don't normally hang out in the same streams.
Have you ever seen the burl and resin spheres, Doc? That people turn on lathes.
What kind of spheres?
It's like a burl, like a root structure from a tree, and then and resin. They're really cool. How they come up with them. They end up looking like little planets.
Well, did you take a look at the picture?
Yeah.
I've got one in there that's an amber beeswax. That is literally just a polymer bond to real beeswax, and that one's astonishing. Then I've got one up front that was turned from Black Sea coral, and even if they're not, you know, oh, I dug this up from the ground and turn it. I mean, if it looks cool, I will go with it. I even if you can spot it, I have something that I call Danbury Jasper,
Mm-hmm.
which I won out of a claw machine. It was on wifey and I's 5th anniversary. I took her out to the movies, and I won a rubber ball. And she's like, "Oh, you should put that with your spheres." And since we went to Danbury Cinemas, hence the name Danbury Jasper. Have you ever seen turned she oak? I have petrified wood. Matter of fact, I'm trying to find somebody who's competent enough. I got a big chunk of rainbow wood. And very good morning to you, Atema.
Hi, how's it going?
So we're talking about a myriad of different weird topics. Right now, we were just talking about my balls.
I wish I could afford a wood lathe. I'd love to have one of them in my shop.
Yeah, if I had the room. Right now, I'm putting up with a Dremel.
Me too.
Dremels can work like a mad bastard. I used to try to, I used to get raw specimens and I used to try to clean them. And a buddy of mine loaned me his Dremel for a bit, and I went nuts. I mean, that thing is awesome, especially if you're trying to polish smaller surfaces.
I just wish like the cutting wheels and the sanding drums held up a little bit better.
I wish they didn't break down as quick. It would be really nice to be able to fully form something smooth, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, but that helps keep Dremel in business.
Like actually, that's what I was doing. That's what took me so long to hop in, is I was doing one of the finger stalls for a Freddy glove for my tattoo artist. And I got through one stall, went through one cutting disc and one sanding drum, just cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And that was on copper, something that's actually really soft. You just type in copper pipe, and it just ate through both of them. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, sometimes even simple woods do that with my Dremel bits now, and it's like I just ended up going to Harbor Freight because for the amount I'm paying for Dremel bits and tools, it's the generic stuff works just as well and lasts just as long. So
yep, that's what I do for my cutoff wheels for grinders. Is I just $14 and I got 20 cutoff wheels,
something like that. Yeah.
Well, I've got I've got use of an actual grinder, a hand grinder, but I can't afford $20 for the pads, for the sanding pads to stair step to do actual polishing.
Oh, you should check Harbor Freight, see if they have
sanding pads. Right online, they'll ship it right to your door.
Well, actually, the ones that I found were cheaper than Harbor Freight.
Really?
Yeah. It ended up to be like $21 for a 6-step pad system and 2 of each.
Oh.
And then it also had a polishing pad too. Just basically the soft cloth one.
Yeah.
I was watching this guy in Australia. Showing how he just uses basically a hand grinder to do all of his stuff. That shit still fascinates me.
Oh, yeah, I always get fascinated by that stuff too. I kind of screw around and most of the stuff I wood carve comes out like weird. So it's not like I'm doing normal stuff with the bits anyway, so I tend to break them fast.
Well, and I have literally no hand control on my dominant right hand. So, I'm just looking at fucking something up from the get-go. So I just don't do it. I got a lot of great raw specimens, but I know there's no way I'm ever going to be able to polish them up. So
have you thought about a tumbler?
Yeah, I used to have a tumbler for shotgun shells. which apparently was a better tumbler to use if you were going to tumble rocks. But my specimens aren't actually that small to be tumbles.
Mm.
I mean, I got a piece of Norina jasper that's as big as my hand.
Oh yeah, no, you're not gonna be able to tumble
A
that.
brass polisher might work for that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to fall back to the old days when basically, in order to liven something up to make it shine, they would just use varnish.
Mm.
You know, they just varnish the damn thing. But then again, you get 10
No, I
years
meant
down
like
the
a,
road and
like
it
a shell
falls.
polisher for brass, for like pistols and rifles and stuff.
Actually, some of the best stuff you can have for it is oxalic acid, that's like one of the big things in CLR.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because oxalic acid will take off rust and calcium deposits and all that bullshit. But like there are some that I've gotten that spread that I showed that I cannot clean at all. Two in particular, and one's a Himalayan salt sphere.
Yeah, you can't clean that.
Yeah, can't do that one. Also, oh shit, what's the one? It's a form of gypsum.
Yeah, you can't clean that either.
Selenite. Yeah, selenite.
Yeah, it's water soluble.
Yeah. But then again, I've got a pyrite sphere, and once that one starts to turn, I'm screwed because once pyrite goes black, it's black forever.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have to sand it down. So yeah, I actually did use Brasso on it a couple of times.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess it makes sense because it's just oxidization that's happening. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to go too deep into the hobby because the stuff that's really, really cool is really, really expensive.
Oh yeah, that's like wood carving.
Oh yeah, and I haven't added to my balls in quite a while.
Doc has a collection of balls.
I think any good hobby turns out to be expensive.
Oh, hell no. People watching is cheap. What are you talking about?
Well,
and depressing.
That gets boring after a while and kind of makes me angry.
Sometimes, yeah. These days, yeah.
Like I used to do it when I was younger and just laugh. Now that I'm getting older, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Guys.
What the fuck?
And a good morning to you. Hey man, nice shot. Oh yeah, Furry. I like the Desert Rose. I've got them in the two different versions, the bladed one and then just the round circular one that kind of looks like striations of rose petals. And the conversation just got killed.
Sorry, I'm finishing up my GoFundMe page now.
Okay.
What are we doing with the GoFundMe page, Fox?
Well, y'all mentioned about it earlier, so I decided to start a GoFundMe. I'm gonna try to raise a bit of money for a new rig, maybe get some good recording equipment and video editing software. Because I wanna make some bigger things here.
The software is what's expensive.
Oof.
Yeah, good software is
You can go the Adobe route where you're paying yearly, or like $500-600 for Sony Vegas.
So should I kick my GoFundMe up to $2,500?
It's Sony Vegas is not cheap. There's other methods to obtain it.
Oh, I'd rather not. I'd like to pay the creators for what they do.
Well, actually, Ghastly turned me on to because I was thinking of doing face capture software. So I actually have an animated avatar, and he filled me in, and I'm like, well, I guess I won't be doing that until my disability comes in, because it can go up to like hundreds of dollars a month,
Mhm.
and I can't afford that.
Have you talked
Yeah.
to Suit Yourself?
Huh?
Have you talked to Suit Yourself? You might know a cheaper method.
I think yeah, he doesn't use the face capture stuff,
Okay.
but yeah, he does have a specific software that reads the phonics and makes the mouth move like it should. But Johnny Mac keeps trying to convince me. He's like, man, this shit's easy. Anybody can do this. He's like, you just got to be able to afford the license.
Well, the license is what kills you.
You got a license for that animation?
No. Or you got a license for that grin?
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking of bringing the guy on that turned Gulf City on to the face capture software, because he's kind of an interesting person. I watched a few of his videos. Seems to be a really nice guy, and it might be cool to give him some exposure too. Even
that would be cool.
he getting paid already. There we go. Oh man, I could use a popsicle.
Okay.
I've got pineapple.
Downstairs I have what is it? Cherry pineapple.
Oh, see, I've got the fruit popsicle thing. You know, that gimmick with the pineapple.
What, like the one from Dole?
I can't remember which fruit company it's from, but yeah, it's really similar to that, where it's just basically like fruit chunks and popsicle.
Yeah. Oh man, those are good. Those are expensive. You know, I'm buying the ghetto popsicles that are like $1.87 for a bag.
Well, I mean, the difference between them in price is basically, do you want to feel like you're eating fruit or feel like you're eating a popsicle?
Popsicle. Man, I grew up in the ghetto when kids my age and other places were doing the ice cream. It's like, fuck that, we can't afford ice cream, so here, let's pour some Kool-Aid.
I was gonna say homemade frozen Kool-Aid popsicles.
Yeah,
that's what we grew up with. Every summer, my mom would just pick up like a 200 pack of the frozen ice popsicle stuff. That was what we had all summer long.
Nope, I didn't even get that. I had to make the Kool-Aid myself before I could make the popsicles too.
Oh, okay. See, my mom wouldn't even trust us with the Kool-Aid powder because that powder would come up missing.
Oh, it did. I had lovely colored hair. Let me tell you.
I used to dip my gum into it.
Oh, are you kidding? If we'd have figured out at 7 or 8 that you could use Kool-Aid to dye stuff, the dogs would have punk rock haircuts. We were.
I don't keep Kool-Aid powder in the house.
Yeah, I mean, my mom was a nurse and she worked overnights, and so like, just take for instance, when we were 9 or 10, we were having a big family get together and stuff, and so my mom had gone out and she'd done all of this grocery shopping for this, and there was 2 12-packs of Coca-Cola, right? And she woke up and we had taken every single one of those cans and busted them on the wall and were spraying each other with Coke.
Oh my God.
That's a crime.
Right. I mean, can you imagine the look on her face?
Oh, my mom's gimmick used to be, she thought as long as she didn't put it in the refrigerator that none of us would drink it because it was warm. Well, we proved her wrong on that one. Oh
yeah, no, like I said, like there were a lot of things that we didn't get. Kool-Aid powder was one of those where it was kept as high as it could be, and it was hidden for as long as it could be. Because if we'd have gotten a hold of Kool-Aid powder, I guarantee you, we would have ended up doing something with it that you're not supposed to do with Kool-Aid powder.
My daughter's a little evil genius. I can't hide stuff.
Oh, dude, we were like Stallone in Cliffhanger. There was no place that we couldn't climb. Oh, Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't have any. Oh, by the way, Furry was showing me that that wood that she was talking about. Oh, wait a minute. I'm assuming gender.
You're right, it's a she.
Okay. Not that I give a fuck, but
That is
you know,
pretty.
it's kind of nice to let unless they're going to hit me with Z or Zer, I'm just not having it. Pick one or the other, because I'm not going with it either, because that's really kind of below the belt.
Speaking of below the belt, can I show that GoFundMe that I just put in the side chat?
Yes.
I really want to see if anyone will go with it, man.
Okay, well, no.
Read that shit. I want to make some money.
Okay, well, I'm trusting Addie's going to keep the stream rolling, because I'm really going to get me a popsicle.
And I'm going to have me a cigarette. I need one after that hot sex.
So
That would be a beautiful veneer top for a guitar.
So I will be back forthwith, bearing popsicles.
I'll hold down the fort for you.
Thank you, sir.
Atama, I feel so much better
Why?
for my sickness.
Oh, you feel better? Oh, good, good.
I slept from like 2 this afternoon till midnight, my time.
Oh, wow, nice. Nice. Good to sleep. Sleep is good. I miss sleep. I daydream about sleep. It doesn't happen though. I keep daydreaming though.
So what kind of woodworking do you do?
I need something to do with my hands, and I've run out of other stuff to do. Kind of woodworking. I don't know. I do weird shit. Let's see. I've made a little miniature fairy thing for my kids. Some candle holders. Other random carving weird stuff that a friend asked me for, and I don't know. Nothing really particularly crafty or like specifically talented or anything. Just me fucking around. I don't even know. Let me see if I have any pictures. I might. I'll put them in Doc's Discord server. So I'm on my phone and I can't copy and paste anything from it. Wow, I love how my phone's just like slow as shit now.
Isn't it always nice when it does that?
Well, yeah, and I happen to have like, 10 years worth of pictures. For some reason, no matter how many times I clear this SD card, it always keeps all the pictures.
Sounds like you have them backed up onto the network.
But I don't have any cloud service to my phone. Like, I don't even have service to my phone. Oh, it's 2 different carriers.
That's weird.
It's just it's an old SD card. I've had it for like 8 years.
Yeah, I'm
Either that or it just saves them funny. Come on.
a hobbyist. Drives my wife nuts. Something catches my attention and I get into it.
That's my poor husband. He puts up with me like that.
Furniture, building guitars, making Freddy gloves, all sorts of shit.
He's gotten used to the Dremels, sewing machines, crochet equipment, art supplies.
Oh, I know this.
Cookware.
I know this sounds really gay of me, Atama.
Uh-huh.
But since you mentioned crocheting, I'm thinking it might be relaxing to do.
It is.
Very.
It's numeric and counting and rhythmic.
And there's nothing gay about it.
It's therapeutic. It is. It's
My grandmother taught me how to crochet when I was about 10.
There's a little fairy house I made for my kids.
Is it easy enough you can do it while drinking? That's an important question for me.
That would be impressive.
Once you get familiar and comfortable with the actions of crocheting, it'll be almost muscle memory, and you can while you're drunk.
Yay! This sounds like the
You
hobby
just-
for me.
You just have to be able to count.
Do you actually have to count each one to make sure each row is like the same number, or what?
Until you get really comfortable with crocheting, you're gonna want to.
Yeah, I think I might give it a try. It's a cheap hobby anyway.
So
I
if
would,
you
ass-
can,
I
oh,
would
go-
assume.
if you can look at Doc's Discord, that's a couple of things I've done in the art channel.
Oh, Doc never invited me to his Discord.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, want me to put them on your channel, Addie? Or your server, Addie?
Sure.
I'm not, like, amazing or anything. I just fuck around.
I like it.
What are we doing?
Just Temma showing off her nerdness. Her boring. I have kids. Look at the stupid shit I do. Now I just have to dig through my huge list of pictures again. Yay, just what I want to look at. Christmas lights in my big fat belly. I had an 11-pound baby last time, so I have all these pictures of this massive stomach of mine.
Holy smokes, you poor woman.
Not particularly large either. It was
My
really
wife got us
comedic.
easy with our daughter. She was born, she fit between the bottom of my hand and the crook of my elbow.
Oh, good dog puff.
She
So
was so
intact.
tiny.
Down there.
Mm. Hair, no. Come
Jesus,
on.
did you need a C-section for that?
No, I had her naturally. My smallest baby was 8 pounds, 12 ounces.
That must have hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, it kind of did, but it was pretty quick. I mean, my longest delivery was 4 minutes or 9 minutes, and that was with an 11-pound baby. Before that, my longest was 4. I have a thing they call hypermobility, so I'm like extra flexible, but not double jointed, and that makes doing things like having extra large babies easier. And that's why I was able to have an 11-pound baby naturally on my frame. There we
Wow.
Jesus.
I'm so glad I'm a man.
go. All right.
Just the thought of that, it's fucking terrifying.
Well, I had to have a mid-urethral sling put in afterwards because she was so big. She actually crimped my urethra for pressing down on my organs. So
Yeah, my daughter ruined my wife's bladder.
Destroyed my body.
I hear about it all the time. She giggles, she
$33,000.
laughs or sneezes, and she's like, I gotta go change.
It cost me $33,000 to have the problem fixed.
Holy shit.
Thank God for insurance, right?
Right.
$33,000 procedure. Yeah. Don't ever look it up. It'll give you nightmares.
Drill cars.
Shh. Happy places. Happy places.
Holy shit.
Look at the happy places.
England man grows breast after drinking too much soy milk.
They wouldn't show it.
Look, like, no, he's got some saggy old bitch titties. Like, legit.
Titch bitties, huh?
Like, a nice handful.
Sweet.
Dude, I could not escape those. I weighed like 320 something pounds.
This isn't fat man
down to
bitch
like
titties.
170.
This is like, he grew a pair of tits.
No, I have a pair. That's what makes me sad.
Wait. This whole soy thing isn't real, is it?
Technically, there have been research. There have been studies done.
I posted it in the Google Hangout side chat.
But soy milk would be pretty much all protein. Why would protein give you boobs?
Because of the estrogen that's in the soy naturally when it's not fermented.
Yep.
I put those in your server now too, Eddie. It just took me a minute to find them because I had
Yeah,
to go through about
I'm
6
looking
minutes.
at
Oh
them.
wow,
God.
those are women's breasts.
Yeah, that's
they
like,
really are.
like, I really hope that guy never goes to prison.
England man grows breasts after drinking too much soy milk.
Yep.
I'd break out and cry. It's a sad movie, that kind of thing. It just wasn't like me, he admits.
This this is making me second guess my protein shakes.
Yeah.
Is he really trying to? Oh, his name is Mr. Wellington.
Yep.
Come here, Mr. Wellington. I got something to put between your titties.
In related articles, woman grows 42 double Z breasts thanks to sperm drinking diet.
Jesus.
Lovely. Like I said, I hope that poor guy never goes to the pen.
Jesus. But he just has a look like, oh, well, what you going to do about it?
Go have surgery. Stop drinking soy milk.
Okay, well, yeah, those are actual boobs, man.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Those
Doc.
are definitely actual boobs.
I'm posting this in a lot of places.
Like I just popped
Like
up
a
on
lot
my
of
Twitter and it was
places.
just sitting there. Suit yourself.
I'm gonna throw it in the chat too. So really want to know. There it is. And a good morning to you, Disky.
When did this article come out?
40.
September 27th.
Came out this week. Damn.
That poor son of a bitch.
I was gonna say if it came out today, then
Like,
that's
how much
prime,
fucking milk was this dude drinking?
That's a lot.
Like, fuck, he was down in like a gallon and a half a day.
Well, I mean, it says that his estrogen levels were 8 times higher than the normal limits for men. So,
fuck me.
That's even higher than the levels typically seen in healthy women as well. So,
Phew.
Yeah, he was getting it done apparently.
I mean, how many times have you heard a man say, "Oh, if I had tits"? Well,
I wouldn't get anything done.
Wish granted.
Yeah, there's a way to do it.
Even though they would be my own titties, I would still be infatuated by them.
You.
It is so hard to find Disky. There it is. Disky, if you want, I sent you the link.
I'm gonna head to bed. So, thank you, everybody. It was a great conversation. It's 4:30 though, and I got stuff to do in the morning.
Wow, but
Rest well, Jabbers.
Hey, nice talking to you.
but
Good talking to you, Jabbers.
as is the normal routine, before you leave, you got to shill.
Well, so you can find me on Twitter at WaterJabbers, and you can find me on Saturdays at 5 p.m. on Hamey and Nice Shots channel for Jobbers and Jabbers.
And do you have any links, or are you too tired?
Let me see. I can probably pull one up.
By the way, I've looked up the science of this. It's gross but true.
Yeah.
And a good morning, Lucky Skunk, Longby.
How far ahead of the world are we right now? Or I'm behind the world, I guess, maybe. It's only 1:30 in the morning here, and I feel like I'm ready to fall asleep sitting up. What the heck?
Well, on
How
the
are you
coast,
guys doing?
on the coast, that's the most. It's 4:30.
Indeed.
There we go. The first
I'd like
link
to get
is
off
to
the
my
East
Twitter.
Coast.
And the second link is to Hamey and Nice Shots channel. You can go and give a sub, and then hit the notification bell, and maybe it will tell you when we're on.
So do some liking, people, if you haven't already. Do some subbing, and we'll get yourself some sleep, and we'll talk to you sooner than later, Water Jabbers.
Yep. You guys have a good one.
Thanks
You
for
too,
coming on.
man.
Take it easy.
Ow.
What'd you do?
I just hit my leg
Oh.
above the knee, so I actually felt it. I've got a burn on my leg where because I roll my own, the cherry fell off the cigarette and landed on my leg, and I didn't know it was burning until I smelled the burning hair and flesh. And it looks like a recluse spider bite.
I used to do that all the time when they had me all doped up on painkillers after my surgery.
Yeah, I mean, if they do one thing, it'd be nice to be able to feel it when I'm starting to burn myself alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an important thing to know.
I'm on fire. Help.
Oh, dude, I set a pair of lounge pants on fire. I mean, that cherry dropped on them. I wasn't feeling shit, and then all of a sudden, poof, flame.
That had to be kind of scary.
Yeah, but it was also like super annoying at the exact same time. Because I'm like, God damn it, if I would have smelled this or felt this, it wouldn't have set my leg on fire.
That would have been fucking, that would have irritated me too. I think I would have been frustrated.
Oh, by the way, marijuana also has the same effect.
But I'm willing to take that risk with marijuana.
I've never nodded out on pot.
I'm talking about the moobs thing. By the way.
Oh, the moobs thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Too much.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, this comes from mensjournal.com, so don't consider it hard science.
I smoke a lot of fucking pot, and like I just have like fat man titties, like a little maybe A cup.
Hashtag me too.
Fat man titties.
I mean, they ain't nothing to write home about.
Well, I smoke a lot of pot and I have G cups, but I don't think G cups have anything to do with pot because I paid for them.
I knew a girl who had J cups, and I felt so sorry for her because without a bra, it just looked like 2 torpedoes hanging off her front.
Oh yeah, no. I paid a lot of money. My implants are quite fantastic.
Well, hers naturally pointed true south wherever she went.
Oh, that's awful.
My wife's been thinking about implants.
Yeah, I recommend it. If you know you're done having kids and stuff, I love my implants. I'm not gonna lie. I love having big breasts.
Like she asked how I felt about it, and I just went, "What do you?"
I like them too.
Did it change the way guys treat you?
I don't know. I mean, I like tits of all
Actually,
sizes.
It did a little, but you know who treat me differently even more so are women. Interestingly enough, I have more pleasant encounters with women now that I have larger breasts than before when I didn't.
I wonder what the psychology behind that
Is
is.
it like
I
a
don't
subconscious dominance thing?
Possibly, I don't know. I don't know. It was an interesting, like, because I got the boobs and I watched, right? Wanted to know because I went from a B cup to a G, so it was a drastic difference.
Jesus.
I would think so. Oh, good morning, Sisyphus.
Yeah, I found that women's were nicer than the men's were after the boobs. Though I will say I got a lot more like extra stuff when I ordered things at drive-thrus and stuff from guys than I did before.
So
Wait.
did the women short you on fries?
Possibly,
Were
I
they
don't know.
jealous?
Possibly, I don't know. I'm skinny too, and I don't particularly eat a lot in any one particular sitting, so I'm sure I got shorted food and just didn't notice.
So you got that Barbie doll figure going on.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say.
Yeah, sort of. I have so like a 32, 28, 32 or something like that normally. Right now I'm like a 38 or 32, 28, 33 or 34. I got sick this summer. I couldn't go exercise. No, I'm small built. I'm not Barbie doll though. Too tall.
You do got the tits.
And I paid for the tits, so I guess I am really a Barbie doll then because I'm part silicone, right?
Well, all I have to say is that I would probably be really bad at blowjobs because I keep biting off the end of the popsicle.
Just impatient, aren't you?
Veracity.
Mmm.
That was so wrong.
All I'm going to say is if I ever go to jail, not like I ever have been, Just a warning to any of my cellmates who decide to get frisky.
You ain't got to worry about that in jail.
Yeah, they go for the other end.
Well, not even in jail. That shit really don't happen in jail.
Oh yeah.
Prison, on the other hand, yeah, you got to watch your brown eye.
Unless you're a woman.
Yeah, then you got to watch your pink eye.
You gotta watch everything. You know you're more likely to get raped to death in female prison than male prison?
Really?
It's like an order of 3 too. I mean, it's like a huge difference. Like 2 or 3 times more likely for a female prison fight to end with what is it, like near death or death, or like there's medical procedures
the women's
that are
prisons are vicious.
It's fucking crazy.
Women are.
We have a women's state penitentiary just down the road, about 15 minutes, and there's always ambulances going in there. I've heard horror stories from COs.
Oh yeah.
So you're saying Orange is the New Black lied?
Yes.
just a little.
Yes, because the least violent demographic of humans in America are gay men.
Hello.
By the numbers, gay men are the least violent. Lesbian women are the most violent.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And considering some of their builds, they're particularly dangerous.
Pooh.
They have penis envy, so they're always angry.
Well, they don't even have to reach up and punch you. They can knock you out with one of those gigantic, lardacious tits.
Well, I'm only half gay. Does that make me half violent?
Well, half less likely to be violent?
Fair enough.
There you go.
Well, I'm bisexual. Does that mean I'm half more likely to be violent?
I don't know. Is the glass half full or half empty?
Well,
See, now, every time somebody uses the word bisexual, I think about that old joke. When I was younger, I used to be bisexual because every time I asked somebody for sex, they'd say bye.
and I was thinking of the old Rodney Dangerfield. I had a girl tell me she's bisexual once, and I giggled and said, I'm trisexual. Hell, I'll try anything once. And that's where my brain went. Because I'm boring and old.
Bisexual. I used to buy all my sex.
Oh my.
Sorry.
Water Jabbers, I thought you were going to bed.
He changed his mind.
He says in the chat, I'd be the world's worst gay man. I have one hell of a gag reflex.
Well, I would, as a gay man, I could give him a solution to that problem. Just the tip.
Well, it's just like a popsicle. You don't have to put the whole thing in your mouth.
And this, by the way, is why men give better blowjobs than women do, because they know exactly that one spot.
I'll beg to differ on that one.
Well, I'm not talking about, overly experienced women, but, men innately know it from their own personal time.
I think there can be a little bit better point of view if you think about it rationally. But oh, hey, I was thinking about one thing. Let me get your all's opinion on this. I am trying to book somebody who's transgender, but I'm trying to book somebody who's not a political nut job who is transgender.
Lo-fi.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh yeah?
Plus she's funny.
And she's brilliant.
Yeah, but I have a hard time with her language.
Oh, you get used to it.
Because my my wife's child is male to female, trans, and she just keeps using this bullshit like, oh well, you wouldn't understand anyway.
Oh no.
And I'm like, well, you know, I'm actively reaching out and asking, and I'm sure I would have people in my audience as well who are, you know, some may be willfully ignorant, but most people are just ignorant because nobody wants to sit down and act like an adult and explain what it is.
And not be condescending.
Yeah, and not be agenda pushing either.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Lowe's probably a good choice for that. It's like a lot of the other transgenders on the internet. Maybe Tranime Girl, if you can get a hold of her, she can be pretty level-headed too. I think Lo-Fi would be the best though because she's just so quick, and she's fun and upbeat, and it's really hard to offend her. Like
Yeah.
she understands curiosity and stuff like that. That whole like normal human responses and things, those don't offend her. She's got normal person thick skin. She's common sensey too.
Well, somebody initially recommended ContraPoints to me,
Ooh.
Ugh.
and I looked up some of her videos, and I'm just like, ah.
You're going to get a lot less pleasantness from that than you are from lo-fi.
Oh yeah, no, Lo-Fi is just shitposty. But she's brilliant. She has degrees in like archaeology and stuff too. She's not a dumbass. She's a really interesting person actually.
Besides, I'm willing to bet that a good percentage of your fan base already knows and loves her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they come from they come from all around. I still have people from the old anime crew that show up and watch my show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you have the right kind of show and you're the right kind of person, you can bring in everybody. And Doc, you're that person.
Agreed.
Oh, by the way, good morning, Punish Dad.
Oh, hey Dad, how's it going?
But yeah, I mean, I think because I hate to get political, but I think sometimes there are certain topics that I would just as soon take the bullet for. Because of my ignorance and try to learn more about it. You know, that's, you know, and I find somebody who's decided to make that choice and stick by it and be able to represent it as incredibly fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to work in a place that was mostly gay men, and I got to understanding it just as quick as when I used to work in a place where it was mostly Vietnamese refugees. I mean, if there's one good person there that can you know, have the temperament to explain, then you know, you can learn some very, very interesting. What would you call it? Social slang?
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think Lo-Fi would be the perfect person for you to dig inside of the head of and understand and learn. She's really willing to articulate stuff far better than most people, and she's rather self-aware, so she can probably give you a better backstory and explanation on stuff than most people can too.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes with Lo-Fi on the Cunt stream, but where else can we find her? Because
Moonifest Destiny, actually, I co-host with her on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
For a little while now. I'm going to have to retire from this show. But
I'm still not getting any of your notifications.
Are you serious? Well, I'm not doing much on my channel right now. I've been so bogged down with my kids because they're assholes. That I haven't been able to do much on my channel, but I should be able to soon, hopefully, get things leveled and back on a schedule. I think I may have to sell one of my kids, but you know, I'll figure it out at some point.
Well, yeah, and Lo-Fi's been on here once.
She's cool as fuck, dude. I love Lo-Fi to pieces. Love her to pieces.
Yeah, I enjoyed speaking with her, but I I will be honest. It was late, and I was having trouble understanding her.
That could have been because she was really tired too, though. It's you know, accent, and it's not her first language.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it didn't take much of a leap of logic to figure that English was not her primary.
I still remember the first time I ever heard her. I insulted her, although she wasn't insulted. I'm like, why does that? I called her a Belgian. I'm like, why does every Belgian sound like a drunken clown?
I thought she was German, wasn't she?
No, she's Danish, isn't she?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
She's from Denmark.
Well, because Blackout was on the show as well, and they started making fun of each other's countries. So, I don't know. She's from somewhere over there.
Yeah, I talked to him after one of your streams, lately, and to me they sound exactly alike. In fact, the first thing I thought is he sounds like lo-fi.
Who, Blackout?
Yeah.
Well, Blackout definitely has that unique dialect. Let's see. So yeah,
I think he has a very soothing accent.
I think I will get around to her then. I'm starting to. I've been a bit lazy. I usually book a month in advance, and I've only booked like one person for November. Well, technically, I'm supposed to have 3 in, but I got to get back to them because they wanted to book so far out. I got David Cummings coming in from the No Sleep podcast. If you like horror stories, definitely check out No Sleep. I have somebody who also does production and production design for podcasts coming in. He's pretty neat, even though he is Canadian.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. And then I've got, have you guys ever heard of the channel Random Encounters?
I think so, yes. It sounds familiar.
They're the ones that do the little 5-minute musicals dedicated to video games.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's the middle of the night, possibly.
Well, I found them interesting, so yeah. I'm like, hey, come on, let's talk about this. Although I will have to admit that last week's show, it got to be a little tough because I started getting a lot of one-word answers. I always call that when somebody's Buseying me, because Gary Busey did that bullshit to me until I just ripped into him. And then apparently that's what he was looking for. And we had a pleasant conversation after that.
Well, he's such a nice fella.
Well, he kind of was, but the thing that really freaked me out was he invited his friend. Oh yeah, I'm following lo-fi. He invited his friend to come on, but he gave him the link to the Hangout. And if you watch for like the first 5 or 10 minutes, his friend's got his camera on and he's sitting there just looking back and forth and making faces and shit. And I didn't know if that was, like a bodily twitch that he had, or if he was just goofing. And
I know he's beat the shit out of himself with those motorcycle accidents and all the drugs, but
oh no, I was talking about the interview last week. But
okay.
Oh no, Busey pissed me off to the point with his little one-word answers where I just shrugged my shoulders and dived in and said, well, so Gary, do you think it's the first or the second motorcycle accident that gave you that much brain damage? and that's the point where he turned, and then he started answering questions.
Oh dear. Oh, you mean you have an expectation of me? Oh, okay. I guess I won't act like a, petulant 12-year-old anymore.
Oh yeah, because the point when I interviewed him, he was really into that. Well, I guess before it became MGTOW, it was like Men for Jesus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, he even had ground rules. This was not my talk show. I was basically kind of like the Artie Lang to the Howard Stern show. You know, I was just there to throw out quips and stuff and kill dead air. And he had a list of demands, and the two I remember was that he was only going to give us 30 minutes, and we were not allowed to discuss the movie The Ginger Dead Man.
I don't even remember that movie.
Oh God, it's horrible. It's like, okay, instead of Chucky, instead of going into a doll, the evil spirit goes into a gingerbread man, a real gingerbread man.
Wouldn't a gingerbread man's legs break as soon as he tried to walk?
I don't, Addie, I can't give away the actual plot. No spoilers from me, but that does come into effect a little bit later.
That's retarded.
Oh yeah, completely.
Netflix though.
Yeah, that's why he didn't want to talk about it. So after I finally busted his balls and he started talking to me, I went immediately right into Ginger Dead Man. Because I was done. I wanted to see if I could piss him off now. And now he's like, okay, I'll talk to you. And it's funny because we went almost an hour, and I literally ended the show with, I guess I should explain. There was a male and a female host. The male host lost connection and never came back. And the female, I don't know if Busey was ribbing her or not, but he kept saying that he couldn't hear her. So he was on the verge of hanging up, and I jumped in and just started interviewing him. But I got him to about an hour, and then at the very end of it, it's like, well, Gary, I'm completely out of questions. So I'm just going to thank you for coming on to the show. So I got to kick him off the show and make fun of his brain damage.
Hey, there you go. And he probably still doesn't remember it anymore anyway.
Oh, but the worst part was he was just sitting out on the on his back porch, and you could hear the Pacific in the back just waving in and out. And it was sad because the sound of this Pacific was more interesting than anything he was saying at that point.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
But, 10 years ago, he was a get. So Joe did a hell of a job getting him on the show. I don't know how he got him. But Joe's one of the guys that will every so often throw me a DM or an email and go, hey, try this phone number. And it's like, I'm not going to try shit unless you tell me who it is. And then he'll tell me, and I'll call him, and I get their office, or sometimes he's got their direct cell phones.
Nice.
That's how I got a hold of Gerald Casale.
Yeah, I can't believe you did that.
I mean, hell. I didn't expect him to pick up. I thought it was going to be some type of business office. And it was his damn cell phone.
Oh.
So, if anybody has enough money out there, wants to prank one of the co-founders of Devo, I am not giving you that number. I gotta book him again. I'm gonna have him on early part of next year.
Oh, sweet.
I got an email from him after the show the next day, and it just said, we need to do a part 2.
Oh, Brock, how do you do this, dude? You're just amazing with this interview stuff, dude. It's just like, it's a gift. It really is, dude. It really, really is. I'm just so floored by what you can do with an interview.
Well, I appreciate that, but I just think it's. I mean, the hardest part of the job, of course, is hunting people, trying to track people down and get shit done. But I think it's because that when they come on the show, that I'm really interested in talking about them. That's why last week's show frustrated me so much, because I was talking way too much. Because he was abusing me almost the whole time, and I even, like, in the middle of the show was like, oh, one word answers. He got me.
What's up?
What was his name? Hitsugi had somebody on her channel, and he's a wrestler, and he was doing that to her.
Oh yeah, they'll some people will big time you just to be dicks. No, it was he was a comic book writer, had been for like 35 years, had awards all over the place. Mike Barron.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been able to listen to it. I was going to listen to it in the morning. I catch up on all my stuff.
I'm really
in the
hoping
morning.
you get Mosley on.
Well, he said, motherfucker's busy if he's not doing because I have previous communication with Bill. I guess I should do the background here real quick. I tried to get him on my previous talk show about 10 years ago, and we were doing email correspondence, and he was feeding me information about this cool new movie that he was doing. Called Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys haven't seen it, go see it.
Amazing movie.
It's a lot of fun. Even Paris Hilton is good in this movie. That's what scared me the most. Sarah Brightman's in it too. And I think that's like only one of 2 movies that she's ever done. Yeah, we started talking about it because I was trying to get him to let me use a Cornbug song for the movie. I'm getting confused now, but yeah, I was shooting the movie. That was my original contact, was to see if I could get a release for us to be able to use a Cornbug song called Head Cheese in the sound in the movie score, in the movie soundtrack. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that band. Cornbugs is very experimental. Their lead guitarist is a guy named Buckethead.
Yes, I do know that band.
Who's that? Who's Buckethead?
Oh, Buckethead can shred, man.
I know who
Holy
Buckethead
shit.
is.
I know who Buckethead is. That's what you said, Buckethead, and I went, oh.
So I got the okay from it, and we corresponded for quite a bit. I still have that email, and I sent to him, and I said, hey, I got my interview show up and running. You might remember me, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. And he's like, well, my schedule is really busy. I'm shooting a movie from blah, 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 to blah, blah, blah. I've got my convention circuit time coming up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, I'm not fucking with your money, dude. So let's find some time. And he said, I think it was either late February or early May. Or no, late February, early March.
You got to dig some old Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 stories out of them for me.
I don't think that's a problem. Bill's a great talker, and here's the thing: people don't think about it much, but he is fucking Mensa. That dude is incredibly intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got a nice career too, to where he's, he could run con circuit for the rest of his life and be set up, because he's been in so many different cult movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, his chop top, fucking obviously, I seen that. I think I was maybe 9 or 10, and it was the greatest thing ever for me.
Well, that was a pretty brilliant disguised black comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people didn't get it because, well, even the studio didn't get it. They were pissed. They didn't even know how to market it.
I seen a list not too long ago and of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies rated from worst to best. That was like the second one in. I was like, oh my Lord. They had the Jessica Biel remake above Texas Chainsaw Massacre too.
Oh,
That's nuts.
I was like, it should go. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is by far the best one.
Yeah.
And then from a horror movie standpoint, probably Leatherface. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah, but you can't hold it to that criteria because then if you try to do a franchise like Alien, all the movies were completely, different genre movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if I wrote it down, I would probably put the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and then 2, probably Leatherface, and then maybe 4 because 3 was just
the
abysmal.
The effects in Leatherface were really good.
And I put the remake down at the bottom because it looked like somebody forgot how to make a movie.
The most recent one they put out where the girl inherits the house. That one I thought was better than the Jessica Biel remake.
Now, I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, but can you suggest maybe some kind of psychological horrors? That's the kind of horror movies that I'm more into.
Well, here's the really sneaky fucking thing about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
There is not a lot of blood and gore in it.
I think the most gore in that movie is when he chainsaws what's his name in the wheelchair, and it's just a little bit of blood splatter.
Yeah, and
like everybody remembers that woman being thrown on a meat hook, and they all remember seeing the meat hook pop out of her chest, and it was gory, and it's a cutaway shot.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Everybody's imagination filled it in, and that's how they remember it. It's brilliant.
Well, yeah, I mean it was atmospherically creepy,
unsettling.
From
that was The Exorcist did that too.
I'm sorry, which one?
The Exorcist.
No,
I'm talking about the ambience, the background ambience thing. That there was this suggestion. The Shining did it. There was a lot more psychological suggestion in movies at the time.
The Exorcist was balls out. I mean, it showed you everything. But the whole disturbing thing for me about, and I saw Exorcist when it came out as a kid because my mom thought it would be cool to go see it.
Oh my God.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so we're all loaded up in the car and we go to the drive-in to see it. And yeah, that movie was rough. That movie was rough. Now, one that a lot of people don't talk about, which is a pretty cool mind bender, and I don't think it got the due that it should have, was a movie called Frailty.
I was just gonna say, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, with Bill Paxton.
Yep. Wasn't that his directorial debut?
It was.
I think it's a modern masterpiece. It is a great movie.
It is a mind fuck from start to finish, and even when you get to the reveal at the end, you're satisfied with it. It's not one of those, oh, they just threw a twist in to throw a twist.
What a twist! Yeah,
it wasn't M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
I like M. Night.
I like a couple of his movies.
I don't. I think I'm going to throw something out there. He is talentless and not clever.
I don't think that. Unbreakable was amazing.
Unbreakable.
It really was.
Unbreakable, and what was the other one called? The Village.
No, not Village.
Those are two of the worst films I've ever seen in theaters. In fact, that's the second one I listed. I was watching it with a friend. we both fell asleep, and I ended up snoring so loud someone came up and woke me up. That's how exciting that film was to me.
I kind of liked Sixth Sense, but somebody ruined it and told me the ending before I went and saw it. So I'm like, well, fuck, why do I need to spend money on this then?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I liked Unbreakable. I thought he did a decent job on Split.
Yeah, I liked Split.
Signs was
You know what movie
okay.
it is
The
I liked
first
that everybody
million
hated?
times I saw it.
I liked The Happening.
What?
Oh no, I like the original far better.
I liked the idea behind The Happening. I didn't really enjoy the movie though.
Wait a minute. Which movie?
The
Where
Happening.
plants
What-
develop a
Wait a minute.
defense mechanism against humans.
The Happening.
Oh, God. Jesus, no.
The original was far better, and both of them sucked.
Well, wait a minute. What was the original?
The Happening.
There was one before M. Night did it?
As far as I know, I thought that's what it was called when I saw it. It had almost the exact same plot line.
Yep, 1967.
I was gonna say, I don't know what year it came out. It was old and far better acted.
Yeah, I didn't care for the acting in The Happening, but the
Hey,
idea.
I was alive in 1967.
I wasn't.
Yeah, directed by Elliot Silverstein.
You know, if we're gonna go back and compare originals to the newer stuff, I'm gonna say the original Day the Earth Stood Still was better. Don't at me.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Keanu Reeves had no idea what the fuck he was doing. And that was a Robert Wise movie that was cleverly disguised as anti-communist propaganda. I thought he did a great job with it. Actually, I like the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers too. A lot of people like the
Donald
one.
Sutherland.
Yeah, a lot of people like the remake with Donald Sutherland.
Wait, that wasn't the original?
No, the original was back in either early 60s or late 50s, starring Kevin McCarthy.
You know, if you're going to talk, or if you're looking for recommendations for psychologically good scary movies, I'm going to throw one out there: Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh, always a good one.
I mean, granted, it was full of zombies, but that really wasn't. That really,
Yeah,
that was
it's
just
not
kind of
about
the
the
background.
zombies. Yeah, good zombie movie's not about the zombies. It's about the interaction between the characters.
And it actually felt like a stage play that they made into a movie because there was more character interaction than you would expect from a horror movie.
What are your guys' feelings on the Savini Night of the Living Dead?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I liked it, but I
am-
like Patty Tallman too. 'Cause
I
she's-
am sorry. I am trying to catch up on my Netflix list right now, and I'm in the middle of the Netflix original Maniac right now, and that's kind of interesting for a psychological kind of trip.
Yeah, except whatever the lead character's role is, he looks really bad as a skinny guy.
He can. Next time you see him, he'll be fat again. He can
Jonah
never make
Hill?
up his mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time he comes out, he's a different size. He'll be skinny and then fat, and then skinny and then fat.
Well, and
go back to super bad side.
Emma
man.
Stone. Yeah, it's Emma Stone, right? That's the female lead in Maniac.
Yeah,
Not a clue.
I think so.
Yeah, well, she looks alien and creepy.
Mm.
She looks like she is not of this earth.
Well, I think she's kind of supposed to. She's hooked on that drug, and not to give too much away in the thing, right?
No. Normally, even in Spider-Man, when she did Gwen Stacy, I'm like, yeah.
Just kind of freaks you out.
Do you guys remember? She was a child actress. She's grown up now, and I don't know if she does movies anymore. But her name is, I think it's Sophia Robb. She did a kids movie called Because of Winn-Dixie, and then she did The Bridge to Terabithia with Josh Hutcherson or whatever. The Hunger Games kid. He played PETA. She's like that. She looks like she's part cat.
Yeah, it's the eyes.
Yeah,
The eyes and the narrow chin.
Yeah, she physically looks like she's part cat. Even as a child, as an adult, she still looks like she's physically part cat. It's bizarre. I'm like,
I think more so as a child. She's
Yes.
kind of like a creepy village, or Children of the Damned.
Sleepwalkers from Stephen King.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I don't know. She's a creepy looking girl.
That kid from The Sixth Sense, he did.
That is
He was creepy. Now,
a
yeah,
wonderful, horrible movie that I've forgotten about. Sleepwalkers.
It was a wonderfully horrible movie. Yes, it was very, very.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
it was enjoyable but bad.
Plus, it had everybody's horror buddies in it too.
Yes.
Because there are cameos all over the fucking place, but they're not like main parts or anything.
The mom always scared the shit out of me when I was.
Oh, Alice
little.
Creed.
Yeah.
Oh, she played the Borg Queen
Yeah,
quite well, by the way.
and she's another one who looks Nephilim like.
Yeah.
Alpha,
See,
maybe.
The only time I've ever seen her was playing the Borg Queen, and I thought she was pretty hot for that.
Well, you might like her in Sleepwalkers. She's creepy sexy.
Mm.
She's like the kind of woman that if you go to bed with, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow.
Isn't that most of them?
Well, Addie, you don't count.
Wow, just dismissed it. Man.
You don't sleep with women. How would you know ever?
I have slept with women. I just found something better.
I have faith in my wife that if she decides to do that, she'll take mercy and make it quick. So,
oh
I'm good
yeah,
with it.
oh yeah. My wife's already been practicing her pillow smothering techniques. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, if we can go all the way back to Psycho, because that was pretty good psychological horror. I mean, there was violence and killing in it, but I mean, the best part of that movie for me was just when Janet Leigh was sitting down with God damn it, I forget his name, who played Norman Bates. But
I can't remember his
I've
name.
never
or
been a
Anthony
big
whatever.
fan of the Psycho movies.
Anthony Perkins.
yeah,
Thank you.
when Anthony Perkins and her and Janet Leigh are sitting down having that conversation, you don't realize what the weight of that conversation is until you get to the end of the movie. And then when you rewatch it again, you can see that Anthony Perkins is having a completely different discussion with her. And those are the kind of movies that really fascinate me. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, you have to go back and watch The Usual Suspects again and again and again. It's like, no, really, 2 times is pretty much
two
all
times.
all
You got
need.
it.
Well, it's funny because I called the ending the first time that I was watching it, and the person I was seeing at the time brought it over and said, "Hey, check this movie out. It's a mind bender. You're never going to get it." And like 20 minutes later, 20 minutes into the movie, I turned to him and go, "He's Kaiser Soze."
Okay, you figured it out too.
Oh yeah,
I
did that
figured
with
it
The
out
Sixth
right
Sense.
away because he never got hurt and nothing ever happened to him throughout the movie. I was like 10-1. The guy who's snitching is the bitch. And,
I didn't realize it until he literally turned into him.
Oh really?
well,
Oh no! The way he was telling the story, he was way too into the man. Had to be him.
well, I'm a writer, so I will dissect it as it's going, and that was the most obvious way to go. You know, he who survives is probably Kaiser Soze.
He's telling the story how he wants to portray himself.
Yeah, because it's literally a liar telling you the story. So legitimately, you don't know if anything that he's saying is true. That's why when you watch it on a second viewing, you're going through going, well, what was true in the story and what wasn't.
By the way, one of my favorite movies of all time.
The Usual Suspects, yes, it
Yeah.
is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I still haven't seen it.
Seven, that was another really good one that
Mhm.
Kevin Spacey
You know-
did. I think it really brought Brad Pitt up to a new level too.
It's kind of interesting. It seems like TV used to suck, but in the '90s, especially the late '90s, they seem to make a lot of really good movies, and now it's reversed. Like like TV's much better, and really the only movies I have any desire to watch are Marvel films at this point.
Well, it's pretty much all that's coming out anymore too.
Yeah, and I'm burnt out on that whole thing.
Well, with movies now, it's all about the spectacle. People just want to see explosions. With the TV, it's got to have good writing.
Well, I will say this. Infinity War was written incredibly well. And it played out incredibly well. My fear is that when you go to part 2, it's not going to hold up.
I think I left off the MCU at Age of Ultron.
Oh,
I didn't
Age
even
of
get to finish
Ultron's
Ultron. I didn't even get to finish Age of Ultron.
I don't know. Just at that point, I was like, okay.
As soon as I realized that they had freaking Stark making Ultron, I was like, oh, nope. Nope.
There's a theory that Ultron's coming back for the next film.
Well, Ultron kind of has to because he's the one that defeats Thanos according to the legends, or according to one series of stories. I don't know about the rest of them.
Well-
They've told them like 9 million times now.
Well, Squirrel Girl beat Thanos too.
Are you serious?
Yes.
God,
Yeah.
I stopped paying attention to comics and look what happened.
But then again, Squirrel Girl beat, Doctor Doom and Galactus. So, and they're all legit, supposedly. And of course, they've shown in comic books where she's beaten not only Wolverine, but Deadpool.
How do you beat Deadpool?
With her squirrel claws, she was doing micro cuts on him. So she did the death of 1,000 cuts. And since they were so small, his body did not react to it as real trauma, so he bled to death.
Oh, that's retarded.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Hey, I didn't write
Is this
the fucking
really
thing.
the artwork for this show or for this comic?
What now?
Is this? I've never seen Squirrel Girl before. I've only ever heard of her. I never even bothered to look at her.
Squirrel Girl was actually a joke in the bullpen. They never meant for her to have the following that she had, but anytime writers wanted to throw in a goof, like the first big person that she beat was Doctor Doom, and then it just kind of snowballed after that. But they literally even they didn't show the fight, but they showed Thanos laying prone on the ground with the Watcher actually saying, I can attest that this is not a clone or a duplicate. This is the real Thanos. So, but no, I mean, if they're going to do it, they're probably going to bring it through the original Infinity Gauntlet ending where Thanos just basically loses grip, loses touch on reality, how to control the actual gauntlet, decides to become an entity, a celestial entity himself. But I don't know. There's still a ton of things that they can actually do with it. But I thought that one was very well written, well directed. I thought Ant-Man was charming.
I haven't watched Ant-Man yet.
Guardians of the Galaxy, both of those have been fun.
We enjoyed those. My kids really like them.
I mean, Ultron Blue. All three of the Thors were kind of shit.
Which is odd because the guy who did the voice of Ultron is one of my absolute favorites.
Well, I still watch the Blacklist.
Yeah, he's one of those. He's like one of those Christopher Walkens. They're so creepy in a unique yet likable way.
Yeah, well, Spader really pulls that off with the Blacklist TV show. That there's always a hint of menace in his merriment.
But well, yeah, there was an Ultron too, where like where he like rips the guy's arm off, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sure that'll be fine."
Ultron 2 is just like it was like a clusterfuck of bad ideas.
Yeah, it wasn't his bad acting. It was a bad story.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're an actor, you can only read the lines that they give you. But Doctor Strange was decent.
Yeah, I thought it was really poorly explained. I mean, like, I know they were trying to get Doctor Strange to the point where he's one of the heroes, and he's got a really long backstory and everything. But it left a bunch of holes, and if I didn't know Doctor Strange, like the basics of his story, I would have been lost, I think.
Well,
it really was too much to the comic, the readers of the comics, and it didn't make it general populace enough. And I think that's kind of why it flopped compared to the other Marvel movies at the time.
No, it still made its movie money back, but the one that did the worst was Incredible Hulk.
Oh, was it? I didn't realize that. I thought Doctor Strange had done worse.
No,
Which Incredible Hulk? We've got like 19 of them now.
No, this was the one with Ed Norton.
Yeah, that was awful.
And he was supposed to continue on, but once again, Ed Norton is fucking poison. So
I've heard a lot that he has a really bad attitude.
Oh well, you heard the story about American History X, right?
Oh,
what
not off the
about
top
it?
of my head?
Oh, American History X. He got so involved in the process and pissed off the director that the director insisted that he be given an Alan Smithy credit on the film. And Alan Smithy credit is for somebody who no longer wants to be associated with the film for any given reason. But he wanted to be given an Alan Smithy credit because Norton interfered so much with it that he even got the director locked out of the editing bay. So he couldn't go in and direct his own movie.
Edited his own movie.
Well, technically you direct when you're in the editing bay too. So, but yeah. Now the reason why they didn't take his name off is even funnier, because of the fact that when American History X came around to awards time, it got nominated for Best Director for Golden Globe and Oscars. So he couldn't take his name off of it.
And he wanted nothing to do with what it became.
But yeah, Edward Norton was kind of a dick there. There's a lot of rumors about him being an asshole during Fight Club. He's still owed.
That is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, I love Fight Club too. And that's the one where I didn't see the actual twist until it was the scene where the segments where he started flying around, and then I got it. But apparently he was being an ass clown on Fight Club, and he had one movie left for, I think it was Paramount. He had a 3-picture deal, and he kept turning down the Italian Job, the remake.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept bugging him. And then finally he was like, okay, I'll do it. So if you guys have the desire to watch the Italian Job, which it's shit, if you do have an occasion to watch it, watch his performance. If you ever want the definition of somebody who literally walks through a part, that's him in that movie.
Yes. Yes. Funny story about the Italian Job. I watched an interview. It was like the making of thing that was on the DVD, you know? And they had Mark Wahlberg was talking, and he really didn't like being in the cars because they were stick shifted. It was too jerky when they would shift. It was unnerving and unsettling to him. So they had to figure out how to get the responsiveness of an automatic or of a stick shift transmission out of an automatic so that he could drive the parts he was supposed to drive. They couldn't figure out how to do it, so they ended up putting him on a dolly set and pulling him around when he had to do his driving scenes for certain sections of the movie because he couldn't handle the anxiety of the gear shift or the car shifting gears.
What? No.
Yes, I know. It broke my heart. I was like, oh my God, you've played all these masculine roles. You do all this weird manly shit in your own stunts. But you have anxiety when a stick shift goes from first to second? Are you goddamn kidding me?
Oh no.
You wear really nice fitting diapers, you big fucking baby.
Oh,
He lost all man card with me then.
by the way, speaking of weird movies, have you guys seen Mom and Dad yet?
No.
It stars Nicolas Cage. I don't know if I need to say anymore, but
That's why I would never have seen it.
well, because
I haven't watched a lot of the stuff you guys have. I'm more into stuff like The Way of the Gun. Y'all watch that?
oh yeah.
I seen it a long time ago.
Well, I just like it because Sarah Silverman gets the shit beat out of her at the very beginning.
That does put it in a.
It does.
Put it over.
But you know what, gentlemen? I think I need to go to bed. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm wiped. So.
Well, do your shillery.
Well, hello there, everybody, or good night there, or whatever it is. I'm Tema the Hun. I have a channel. I do stuff on it occasionally. You can find me on Moonifest Destiny. You can find me on Fridays on our Rape Prostates channel. And you can find me on Mad Dodge Productions or Mad Libertarian, as you may know him. You'll find me on his channel bitching about politics at random times in the middle of the day and the early evenings. And here's my channel in the... Oops, I can hit buttons, I swear. There's my channel. And yeah, that's it. I'm at this point functionally retarded. So yeah, that's me. I'm around. Or ask me if you want. I'm on Discord too. You can poke at me there.
Have a good night, Tema.
All right, take it easy.
Good night. Nice talking to you.
And thank you for stopping by.
And thanks for inviting me, Doc. I'll see you guys later.
You're always welcome. The door's open.
Thanks.
Trying to think of some good psychological horror movies for this guy.
Alien. I know I'm a broken record on this, but Alien is a horror movie and a great one.
Yeah,
it is.
100%.
I'm on my Netflix right now on PlayStation looking up these, well, most of whatever y'all are throwing out, but a lot of it's not on there. It sucks.
Let's see.
Wait a minute. Give me one in particular.
Let's see.
Give me one movie that we've said that you can't find that you want to watch.
Shit, I can't remember half of them now. You've listed goddamn 30. Do you have anything in the way of Memento, kind of film noir stuff?
Yeah, Memento's kind of a tricky one, though. Because they really don't make good noir anymore. I mean, closest might be Hollywood, Hollywood Confidential.
7 is on Netflix. I could watch that again. I mean, I've watched that goddamn 7, 8, 9, 10 times already. Great movie.
The first Cabin Fever is pretty good.
No, that's more body horror, though.
I think it's a good mix, kind of like The Thing. Like I'd still count The Thing as psychological horror.
The Thing is one of the best horror movies that was ever made.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
100%. Like it has that paranoia-inducing aspect to it, and then it has the really good effects.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up some new movies, but here's one that's on there that I've already seen once. I'd like to watch again now. Is Moon.
Yeah, that was a good flick.
That was a great film.
I still haven't watched it.
Oh, you should. It is definitely worth it.
It is.
Okay. And don't tell anybody you guys got this link from me, but right there. Once you get to that website, you should probably bookmark it until they figure out where it is again and then shut it down. They stream a shit ton of movies and TV shows and sporting events for free.
There's another one, I think GoMovies.com, but it's not a very good site. Big selection, but a lot of pop-ups.
Oh, this one's tight, man. As long as you got your ad blocker out, life is good.
You see, that's the shitty thing with that other one is even with ad blocker, it just pops up a new tab.
Well, I know Put Locker used to be good, but then they went all fucking nuts. But yeah, that's a link to Daily TV Fix, which used to be called Darewall.
Yeah, Crunchyroll used to be good too.
Yeah. I got another anime place that I go. I can't think of it right off the bat, but I got it bookmarked. But yeah, right there's the original version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and pretty much whatever movie that you type in, you will probably find. And they also do have a lot of box office stuff, but most of it's like, some guy from Brussels or Guadalajara with his 1080p cam filming it from the seats.
I think I can put up with that.
Some of them are definitely worthwhile, but then there's this one fucker from the Ukraine, and you can tell because he basically watermarks the video with his Russian website, and that motherfucker is invariably eating popcorn, and you can hear him fucking eating popcorn and taking a drink from his drink or unwrapping a fucking candy bar. I'm like, God damn, dude. Can you not for just maybe 2 hours?
No, I don't often get to catch up on my Netflix. I spend most of my time listening to you guys on live streams. You're more fun.
Thank you for that link, Doc.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, dude,
shit.
anything you can think of is pretty much there. There are a few of them that I've tried to look up that I don't have, or that they don't have, and they're real rare and obscure things. But every so often they'll surprise you. Like one of the movies that I hunted for a long time was a flick starring Sally Field and James Garner called Murphy's Romance. And yeah, it's a gushy little love story, but I always liked it. I thought it was charming, and like The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh with Gabe Kaplan that decided to run a professional basketball team according to their astrological sign. So all the basketball players had to be a Pisces.
Shit.
I'm crapping you in the negative. Or Gorp. which was an 80s screwball comedy. It was essentially Meatballs on a lower budget. But yeah, I mean, there's very few where I'm like, oh man, I really want to see this movie, and I'll go to this website, and it will have the movie like 90% of the time.
Okay, I'm gonna drop off.
Are you done?
I'm done. It's breakfast time.
Ah, well, you know what time it is too. A little bit of shilling.
Well, first of all, before I shill, I hope you keep doing these middle of the night streams, because it's nice to have something live to watch at this time of day, and I'm often up. So I hope you continue on with that.
As long as I have insomnia, they will probably be streaming.
Excellent. Yeah, so I have a channel, which I just put in the chat because otherwise I'll, get told what's what by Doc. Yeah, it's pretty much just getting drunk and bullshitting on Saturdays.
Wait a minute, what is that? I have not.
What is what?
It's just weird how it came up.
What happens when you click on
it? You do come up.
Yay!
And Joker is on right now too. I just found out. I'm gonna give him shit in his own chat for gimmick and infringement for doing late night. But yeah, the Saturday stream I can definitely recommend.
The Saturday stream might happen today, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I canceled it yesterday, so we'll see how my naps go.
Alrighty. But that usually kicks off, what, about 4 or 5?
Central time, it usually is 3. So
okay.
4 Eastern. And it goes on for, I don't know, like 12 hours.
Or until the booze runs out.
Indeed.
And that is definitely a great goal.
So, yeah, on that note, have a great night, everyone.
Thanks for coming on, Addy.
Nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna real quick pull up Joker shit and give him shit in his chat. Because I can.
You're a good friend.
Kick in the door to the bar, scream at a few people, take a few shots.
Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck? Oh, he's not live. He ran it for like 1 minute and 15 seconds. You dick.
No, he's live.
Wait a minute. Okay, there's the other one.
Yeah, he's live.
Cap lock on.
Is that still on Netflix?
All right, I gotta watch this real quick. I gotta see what happens.
Am I gonna have to?
I don't know. I've found Netflix really lackluster, like the last 6 months.
They took a lot of fun shit off.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of stuff.
They're always cycling it through, though.
Yeah, but I mean, half the stuff that was on my favorited is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The two that I love to that I love to watch when there wasn't anything on, I would go and plug in either Odd Thomas or John Dies at the End.
Ooh, both good.
I fell asleep watching that the other night.
Which one?
John Dies at the End. I started to watch it. Like, I don't know. I maybe got 20 minutes in before I finally zonked out.
I like it. It's not blood and gore. It's just it's like an acid trip.
It's got
on film.
It's got Giamatti in it, so I'm in. I love that guy. My favorite is Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen. Paul Giamatti is just a great fucking bad guy.
Yeah, while we're still on Netflix, you've been looking at any of their originals?
I have, but
I like Ozark.
yeah.
I thought Ozark was pretty good.
Let's see. He's like, I ain't got 900 people on jibber jabbering. I'm just playing songs, man. I was like, much love, brother, but you suck hard.
Mindhunter. That looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm about to wind anyway because it's almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually probably head out into the garage again, turn on Joke, and get some work done.
I'm gonna probably grab me dinner / breakfast. Pass out in about 30 minutes.
And then get yelled at by my wife in 2 hours for staying up all night. You asshole.
There we go. So, those of you who are still tuned in, I'm going to put the link in here for Joker. Spam it in there a little bit. Because he's going to be playing that funky music like a white boy. And I like Joke. His show's good. Actually, he's actually going to be on my main show, Doctor on Call, the middle of the month. Or actually close to the end, like the 23rd, I think.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think it's going to surprise quite a few people because I'm just like, bring your favorite beverage and what you like to smoke. We're just going to sit back and chill. And we'll probably just end up telling biker and bar stories.
Couple of old men sitting on the porch with a glass of whiskey telling stories.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the phrase, I remember when I could buy that for $0.25, will come up. Because, yeah, that's the way that we do. So, Snowfox, go ahead and pimp your shit.
All right, I am a Wild Fox Appears on YouTube, so I got a channel here that I'm going to put up in the side chat in a second once I get back to it. Snowfox2 on Twitter, that's SNOFOX2. And if you want to hit me up there for whatever, I've got a show. I am now doing live streams over on the Constream / Snatchcast on Thursdays where I do interviews like Doc here. If you want to come check that out, come check that out. I make people talk for me because I suck at talking still.
What days was that?
Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern.
Okay, cool.
It's about all I got. I also started a GoFundMe, so I'm going to put that up there too.
Well, that's what the side chat's for. Spam them their links.
Help
Yes,
this man get a computer.
at least a better one than I got now.
Is that a picture of yours that you posted in the Google chat there?
It is.
Yes, people, get this man a computer. Get him there. Just every little bit helps.
There we go.
There's a channel. There's that. Fucking...
He's like, it's Sunday. So I just put in, Jesus hates Sundays, you know.
Jesus loves me. This I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Have you ever seen Leprechaun in the Hood?
Am I too late?
Yes, I have.
The scene in the church where they sing that after blowing the flute, it fucking cracks me up every time.
All right. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to have a cigarette, eat something, pass the fuck out. Have a good night.
You too.
All
man.
right. Thanks
Good
for
talking to
coming
you.
on. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you.
God damn it, Blackout. We're getting ready to close this shit out. What the hell are you doing?
I just woke up again.
And how's that working for you?
Not well.
Ugh.
Ugh.
So I tell you what, I'll give Chop Top the opportunity to do his shilling, and then hopefully you'll be awake enough to do your shilling.
I really don't have anything to shill. I'm a random asshole on the internet. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing live streams. Other than that, my Twitter's Chop Top Nada 16. I build cool shit and post pictures.
Well, apparently Addy thinks that there's, prime ground for this 2 to 6 slot. So you can always consider doing that.
Yeah.
Then I can just go back.
I think that's what's keeping me from doing it is I want to find a little slot and then get myself on a schedule for it.
Well, that's rough because on this side of the internet, you've got basically Ralph dominating from like, what is it, 11 to 2.
I don't know if I really want anybody who's into that.
Let's see. It's dependent upon the night, but you usually have people running at 9 or 10 o'clock, like Gulf City or American Gadfly. If we wind back a little bit farther, you got people like Joker and Ariana. Oh, I forgot. Late Night with Broski is usually there in that 9 or 10 o'clock slot. Then you got like Ariana and Joker there around the 5:30 slot. Then you've got Blackout filling in the slot from about 2 to 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Then you back up to Kumite, and then ahead of Kumite is Morning Decay. And then I guess, Joker pretty much broadcasts whenever he damn well wants, but he likes doing a show that early in the morning. So I guess there's some room to roam still. I mean, not everybody runs every day. I mean, I know Joke only runs Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing just maybe a weekend, finding a slot on a Saturday when all the normal people who have lives are doing.
Yeah,
things.
midday Saturday and Sunday. That's when I actually started doing these ramble streams, Saturday morning at like 11 o'clock or so. And I think that one's pretty much still open because Zach does his thing on Saturday at like 9 in the morning and only goes for like 2 hours. And I know American Gadfly does his coffee show on Sundays, pretty much around the same time too. So yeah, that little middle spot of pre-noon and afternoon, those are still, I think, pretty wide open. So yeah, in other words, there's no excuse to not to.
I know. It's laziness.
Yeah.
I gotta do shit, man.
Well, hell, I opened up this show singing Comfortably Numb because I was reasonably certain that nobody was going to listen. And now I want to see if I actually get, even though I didn't play the music, I want to see if I actually get a copyright claim for doing a cappella.
I was thinking about maybe getting a cheap like GoPro knockoff, setting it up in the shop, and just doing my own thing and having it out there.
Well, dude, I
have a tablet set up on the desk so I can interact with chat or something.
Oh, dude, I picked up that and it's excellently reviewed. I picked up a brand new Logitech C920 webcam, and I mean it's top of the charts.
I have one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I just don't have a laptop to take out in the garage with me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And you don't have enough cord to run it.
Yeah, my destructive children smashed the laptop, and I have a giant desktop, so I don't have a need for one. My wife, she hasn't wanted one, so just haven't replaced it.
Yeah, my wife is a laptop over PC fan.
I gotta have my PC.
Yeah, I want, you know, PCs break down less than laptops because the people that I live with, my stepdaughter has gone through probably in the time that, because she's been with us the whole time that we've been together. So in 10 years, she's probably gone through at least 11 or 12 laptops.
Well, that's the thing with the laptop is when a component goes, it's pretty much throw away or pay almost what the thing's worth to get it repaired.
Yeah, or when you drop it or spill
Yeah.
shit on it.
Whereas a desktop, knock on wood, if a component goes, you can replace that component.
Yeah, I need to replace this component with all new components. And that will happen by the 15th.
I just did that. I last August I built my dream computer.
Yeah, well, tech eludes me, so I just trusted others to guide me along the
Oh, I seen the
path.
specs you posted. That thing's going to serve you really well. Like, yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, it ended up to be like $1,200, and that afforded me the ability to get a new monitor, and the monitor was like the big spend. That was like 188 or something like that.
I forgot. How many gigs of RAM does it have?
16.
Perfect.
And the SSD in it's 512 gigs.
Yeah, later on down the road, man, HDDs are getting cheaper and cheaper. You know, I think you can get a terabyte one for like $50 now.
Yeah, I thought about that, and every single person was like, "No, you want a mix of SSD and HDD."
Yeah, for like bulk storage, you want your HDDs, and then for anything you want to run quick, you want on your SSDs.
Yeah, so I mean,
yeah, a 1 terabyte Barracuda is $45 now.
Yeah, I think I made out on this one. I think this one's going to work, and
for
it's
sure.
a year. So if it fuckers up, then somebody's going to get yelled at.
Get yourself a second monitor and make streaming a lot easier.
Well, I'm not getting rid of the crappy one. The one that has the Gauss marks on it. I'm gonna keep that one, and that one will be the secondary monitor. I mean, use it up, wear it out. That's what my grandfather always said. He came from the Depression, so he survived it. So I trust that that's a good way to go. There we go. So yeah, you should actually try that. If nothing else, just dip your toe in, test the waters. What give no fucks. Do it because you're having fun with it. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna have me one more cigarette before I kick out of here. Blackout, are you waking up?
Not really, but yeah, I'll be live at like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna do one of those regular streams. I'm actually gonna start a new show. It's basically the same as what I usually do, just in the regular time slot, because the show that I do with Diddy is now gonna be 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at like what time? That would be 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. So you're actually going to do an overnight stream. Well, for
Yeah.
the US and an overnight stream.
Yeah, we had some scheduling issues, so just gotta make sure she doesn't overwork herself.
Well, I
I
can
I'd
understand because
like to
she's
have
in
a.
university, right?
mm, I don't know if it's university or what it is. School. That's all I know.
Yes, women are mysterious when it comes to their education.
Yeah. Also, Europe.
Yeah,
So,
I guess if you just call it studies.
yeah. So yeah, that's gonna happen. So today is just gonna be a normal art stream. Probably gonna have an open house so people can just join in and shoot the shit for a bit.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
you got a lot of people who love your stream that always love to pop on.
oh yeah,
So that should tell you right up front that's a quality show.
yeah. And as long as there's no like drama or anything, everything should be good. And I've been fairly good at staying away from all the drama.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, unless Broski goes off on one of his tirades, then you know.
I mean, I got away from that as well.
Yeah.
The only time that there were any drama on my channel was Drunk Tennessee.
Well, he made his Drunk Tennessee appearance on here too.
Oh, he did?
Oh yeah, my God. Huh. I don't know which one it was, but he started laying into Cadunt about how long distance relationships were bad and she needed to dump Anti-Hero.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Hi Potato. What the fuck are you doing here?
Well, good morning, Potato. Have a wrench.
Yeah, it's a buddy of mine.
Yeah. I've actually talked to him on your stream.
Yeah. I'm just surprised to see him every once.
Well, thank you for the invite, Doc. I'm going to get out of here and get back into the shop. Do some work on this glove.
All right, cool, Chop Top.
You guys have a good morning.
And please keep posting pics of it.
Oh, yeah. I'm really getting into it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start. I got an email from the guy I ordered some parts from. I should have them. What's today? The 7th? Yeah, I should have them by the 14th. And I'll be able to doing like a screen accurate recreation of the first glove and whatnot. So I'm looking for
he's the Blackout. He's doing a Freddy glove.
Oh yeah, I've been following you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
me too.
Pictures.
like
It's starting to look good.
it's fun. Like the glove I just finished. I just wanted to see if I could do it mechanically, like if I had the tools and the skill to do it. So it's kind of just like an amalgamation of all of them, and I enjoy it. It's calming, working with the torches and the copper and the solder, and except for burning your fingers, that shit kind of sucks. But it's fun. I think I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, too bad you're not doing it somewhere next to a camera. You could have done a time lapse.
Well, that's why I was thinking I kind of like to get the I got a 7-Eleven right around the corner, and for like $50 they got a cheap GoPro knockoff. I was thinking about just picking it up and throwing it up there and just recording it. Maybe doing some tutorials or something, because that's something I've found out is there's a whole little builder community around that.
Oh, sure.
And
No,
some of them are like, some of them do share like the basic stuff, but when it comes to the screen accurate details, they guard it, because a lot of them make a good chunk of side change from it, like a dark dream design Nightmare on Elm Street, I think 4 glove fetches about $500 because of the amount of bending and detail, and it's just a very intricate glove. So I understand why they protect, you know, how to get the right color red with the torch. Or
Well, I forget Adam, what's his name, from Mythbusters. If you're not subscribed to the Tested channel,
I was, and they kind of got I unsubbed maybe 7-8 months ago. They just kind of got away from the stuff I was really interested in.
yeah, he likes building costumes now.
Mm-hmm. Like I remember I was subbed to him when he did the Hellboy glove with the old vacuum tubes and stuff, the powered Hellboy glove.
Oh yeah,
that was really cool.
I liked it when he did Han Solo's blaster from scratch too.
Yep, that was a good one. I did watch that recently. I check in every now and then.
Yeah, I mean he's an idiot when it comes to social politics. But
oh my! I seen that and I was like, ugh. But then again, he's lived in San Francisco for what, the last 30 years.
Well, yeah, his whole family were artsy people.
You know, so
with
it's
money apparently.
He's going to have a certain political leaning.
Yeah.
The other reason I don't watch is just I'm so envious of that shop. Like, just the amount of time he has in for collecting his tools.
Well,
makes me envious.
You know, it's not like he did it overnight. It took him decades.
It took him decades to do it.
Bloody hell. Okay.
All right, fellas. You have a good night. Well, morning.
Yeah. All right, brother. Have a good day. Ugh. And Furry, no. Cadunt was being encouraged to dump Anti-Hero. But the person doing the encouraging was intoxicated, and so she paid no never mind to him. Which is a good thing. Because, hey, if you're going to have a relationship with somebody, that's the only opinion that matters in a relationship. Hey, guys, we're getting ready to go off the air. Joke's on, though. I spammed him up in the chat. Let me spam him one more time here.
Yeah. And I believe Godfly and Broski is going live in a few hours.
Yeah, Gadfly usually goes about 8 or so, and Broski's been getting later.
Yeah, it's gonna be at like 10.
Yeah, I've seen him roll his lazy ass out of bed, you know, between 10 and 12. So
I mean, yeah, it's weekends though. Like he's normally up at like 8 or 9 for the morning. Not Kumite, Decay. Fuck, it's too early.
The morning, it's too fucking early.
Yeah, I need to fix my sleeping schedule again. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, you know, having fun being a globetrotter, that'll definitely get to you.
Oh yeah, it does. Also, I've been just hanging out on Discord when all the folks recently, so just gotta fix that shit.
What, your Discord?
No, my sleeping schedule, and just stop hanging out from like midnight until like 4 a.m. A big mistake on my part.
Yeah, because the sun don't work the same way in your part of the world.
Nope, it doesn't.
But Oh, let's see if I can remember. I would like to thank the people who stopped by today, which includes, oh man, am I going to have to work backwards on this? I'm not sure. Chop Top Nada.
Sir.
Huh?
Yeah.
A wild fox appears. Atema the Hun. God.
Sir something.
Huh?
Sir something.
Oh yeah, Sir Adamantine.
Yeah.
Blackout, of course, and God damn it, I forget. There's somebody I know I'm forget. Oh, Water Jabbers. So I would like to thank them all for coming on, and of course for pleasantly shilling their stuff and have another ramble stream with me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to wish you a very, very good and productive Sunday. Sun's coming up, so have fun with your day because I'm going to sleep, fuckers. Bye.
Bye.